The temperature on the bottom end of the 50s right now. The wind at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Field rolling out. There you see Bobby Allison pulling out. And now you're with Harry Gant in car number 33, the Skull Bandit, as he looks for win number 1 of the season.
Ken, I'm getting goosebumps. That in-car camera is something else. It's actually like I was going around the corner just then in my race car getting ready to start. That is a beautiful shot.
Literally hanging out of the trees to see this race. A sellout crowd at Richmond today. They closed off the infield 2.5 hours before the event. And now, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the 1984 Richmond 400. On the pole, shattering his record from 4 years ago, it's number 11 Chevrolet for two-time winner Darrell Waltrip. Beside him comes the Buick, number 47, Ron Bouchard from Massachusetts. Row 2, it's number 27 Pontiac for Ohio's Tim Richmond, and Ford number 15, Ricky Rudd on the comeback trail. In row 3, St. Louis, Missouri driver in the Pontiac, number 88, Rusty Wallace, and beside him, Chevrolet 44 for Texas, Terry Labonte. Row 4, the Ford number 94, Richard Brooks, the Junie Donlevy car, and beside him comes the Chevrolet number 5 of Jeff Bodine from New England. In row 5, two-time winner here at Richmond, and the Chevrolet number 28 houses the man who won Daytona last week, Cale Yarborough. Beside him in the 10th position, number 12, Chevrolet for Neil Bonnet. In row 6, two-time winner of this Richmond 400, the Buick of defending national champion Bobby Allison, and Chevrolet number 33, the Skull Bandit, Harry Gant, carrying our onboard camera today. Row 7, from Dawsonville, Georgia, comes Ford number 9 and Bill Elliott. And beside him, the Chevrolet number 98 of Joe Rutman. In row 8, it's the 6-time winner of this Richmond 400, the famed Pontiac number 43 of Richard Petty. And then comes the Buick number 2 of Morgan Shepherd. Moving to row 9, Dale Earnhardt on the inside in Chevrolet number 3 and Chevrolet number 1 for Lake Speed. Row 10, it's the Ford of Kyle Petty and Ronnie Thomas, number 41 Chevrolet. In row 11 are 2 Chevrolets. On the inside, 3-time Grand National champion David Pearson, and outside is the rookie in the second Skull Bandit car, Phil Parsons. Going to row 12, the Pontiac number 70 of J.D. McDuffie. Alongside is the Virginian in the Chevrolet number 4, Lenny Pond. Row 13, it's Clark Dwyer in a Pontiac and the Ford of Tommy Gale. Row 14, the Chevrolet of the new New York runner, Greg Sachs. And from Franklin, Tennessee in an Oldsmobile comes Mike Alexander. Row 15, from Wisconsin, the Pontiac number 75. That's the Raymock car for Dave Marcus, and alongside is Dean Combs. Finally, in row 16, Jimmy Means Pontiac starts there, along with Trevor Boyce of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. One lap, and they will be racing live on WTBS. Down into the first turn, last time, at an easy speed. They average about 93 miles an hour. They'll average about 90 in the race. You're back once again inside of Harry Gant's car as we get set for the start.
What you see them doing now, Ken, is they're stepping the tires back and forth, getting all the excess rubber and everything, getting a little heat into the tires. So when they go into that first corner, the tires will stick.
All right, the field going into the back straightaway, getting set for the start. There you are in car number 33, the Skull Bandit. The field going down into turn number 3. Light is off on the pace car. The field coming up for a start. Pace car is dropping in. Field getting ready for a go. Down they come to the line. Flag is out and they're underway. Going into turn number 1. Now you're back with Gant. He closes on car number 9. Out in front, it's number 11. Waltrip taking the quick lead. Ron Bouchard is in second. Going in third is car number 9. For the 27, Tim Richmond third. Ricky Rudd fourth. Rusty Wallace is in fifth. Around they go into turn number 1. Waltrip on the point. Harry Gant getting shuffled out back. Car number 3 making a move on him. Number 11, Waltrip is your early leader. Twice a winner of this event. Ron Bouchard staying in second. Third spot is Tim Richmond. Now you're with Harry Gant. Right in front of him is Mississippi's Lake Speed in car number 1. The Skull car fighting his way through car number 33. Harry Gant, who qualified in the 12th position. Again, coming around turn number 3, he's dropped 2 spots on the start. Leaders are down in turn number 1. The leaders are down in turn number 1 out of 2.
It looks to me like Darrell Waltrip is handling great right now. He is just doing it his own way right now, and everybody's just kind of falling in the line. He's opened up about a 10-car length lead now.
Rusty Wallace sliding back a spot. Terry Labonte moving up. Terry Labonte moving up with position. Lead car remains number 11. As they come by this time, they will have completed 5 laps of the 400 to be run, and the battle is developing for the 4th position. There's Waltrip out in front. On the back straightaway, beginning to get together, you see 47 Bouchard running in 2nd spot, and the fight is on for 4th. Here's Waltrip in the mid-straight. There's that battle between 27, Tim Richmond in 3rd, and pulling up on him is Ricky Rudd. Rudd takes the Bud Moore car down the inside. Going into 3rd position. Going into 3rd, pulling up is car number 15. 27 lies now in 4th with Terry Labonte, the blue car, in 5th. And still Waltrip, who sits on the pole and now pulls away, stays up in front and draws the lead on this race. Again, you're inside Harry Gant's car, out of turn 2, into the back straightaway. Back with Waltrip, the leader. 32 cars starting. The battle is now going into turn number 1. You're watching number 15, Terry Labonte, or rather number 15, which is Ricky Rudd in 3rd, and behind him, Terry Labonte is making a move. Labonte is trying to pull up and take the 4th position, number 44 and 27. Here they are, coming out of turn 4 side by side. It's Terry Labonte on the inside, Tim Richmond on the outside. The red car is Richmond, and there's Terry Labonte. That's the scramble going on for 4th position. Back straight away, Richmond right up against the wall, Buddy Baker.
Well, he's right up against the wall, and it looks to me like Tim may be having a handling problem because he's been dropping back. That's the 2nd car has passed him, and now Dick Brooks is beginning to make a move on him.
Now you see that number 27, Richmond has been shuffling back, and here comes Richard Brooks, the Junie Donlevy Ford, number 90, trying to overhaul him as they go into turn 3. Off to a good start today, and pulling away is Waltrip in the number 11. Number 11, squeezing out some additional speed, Buddy, and why does he seem to run so quickly out here? He's got everybody covered.
Well, you know, he had an excellent qualifying time, and he seems to have everything going his way. The new power steering seems to be working well for him, and the car's hanging low in the racetrack. He's not having any problems at all, and when he starts going through lap traffic, he's going to really pick up more than he is now.
Field goes down into the back straightaway another time, with Waltrip continuing to stay out in front. Challenged by number 90, drawing away from the field, and we may have some bad blood developing further back. Car number 3, the Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty, just went toe-to-toe all the way through 3 and 4 in commercial, and Earnhardt drove Petty out of the groove and up into the wall. And here they come by. They've already traded some sheet metal. We'll follow that story. They're well back in the field. Earnhardt is running 13th. Petty is 14th as you look at them there, Buddy Baker.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If Earnhardt thinks that he can bump around on Richard Petty for very long, he may have a new page to read in this whole race, because Richard Petty is one of the toughest guys on this racetrack when it comes to moving him around.
Buddy Baker, Richard Petty's old teammate. They finished 1 and 2 at Daytona one time. Now you see some bumping by Bobby Allison, leaning on Kelly Arbor on the 28. And that 28 car is not a short track car. That's the car that won the Clash. down at Daytona the week before the 500, or ran in the clash, did not win it. Neil Bonnet won it. But that 28 car, Wanda Wilson, is a long track car, is my point.
Well, it is that, but they've been here before, both of them, Waddell and Cale, and they know what it takes, and the car is running pretty well, but right now Bobby's wanting to get out of this pack of cars that he's running with, and they're running so well down the straightaway, he can't make his moves, so I would look for a little more fender bending here in just a second.
Harry Gant there was working on David Pearson's son, but this is the man that's working the entire 31 other competitors. That is Darrell Waltrip, and here he is closing on the Colorado driver, Clark Dwyer, rookie. And here comes Bobby Allison getting underneath Cale Yarborough. Along comes Neil Bonnet down on the inside. Bonnet, who had just a remarkable 2 weeks in Daytona, pulls up another spot. The number 5 is Jeff Bodine. That car, the Spurlock car, is really flying at this moment.
Jeff Bodine seems to be running quite well, but I noticed in the group there several cars have tried him and they couldn't quite get by him, but Bobby Allison has really got a knack of getting under people at this racetrack, so I would look for a move pretty quick on him.
25 of 400 laps are now completed. Look at Allison begin to come on. Remember, this is the race that 1 year ago Bobby Allison said was the key. He crashed at Daytona, came here, and won his second Richmond 400 in grand style. And he has the guy that he taught racing to, Neil Bonnet, right on his rear bumper. He works on Jeff Bodine. Great action. And remember, they get to about 120, 125 miles per hour in the main straightaway. Out of the group just a tad is Rusty Wallace as he tries the outside right in front of number 5, coming up on a lap car. That's, I believe, Jimmy Means down on the inside. Indeed it is. They're in 3. Rusty Wallace just in front of Bodine. Lap car down on the inside. The number 52, the white and red car. There's the green and white number 88. That's the Cliff Stewart machine, which has a new driver this year. Rusty Wallace, who had a terrible crash at Daytona a year ago in a qualifying race, and this is his kind of racetrack.
Again, Darrell Waltrip's car is handling so well. If he stays running like he is right now, it's going to be tough for anybody to close in on him because he is just going over by cars on the outside, by cars on the inside. He's really flying.
And there's the man trying to catch him in second place off the point. That was number 47, Ron Bouchard, who qualified second fastest out of Fitchburg, Massachusetts. It's now a 3 6/10 of a second lead for Darrell Waltrip. The question is, can he stay there? Now there you see that 47 car holding right on, and Ricky Rudd in the 15 is closing ground to the Mudmore car. We have one car on pit road. Looks like number 7, Kyle Petty, may be an early retiree. Petty comes in. Kyle Petty on pit road. There's the 47 car trucking on down into turn number 1.
Kyle Petty's taking on left side tires right now, so he may have just cut one down. Rocks are a problem around this racetrack. You kick them out of the infield onto the racing surface.
Now there's Kyle Petty's car just at almost the entrance to pit road, and he's coming back out. Meanwhile, you're looking at number 27. That is Cale Yarborough. Cale Yarborough running with the leaders, a little off the pace at this moment, out of the front 15, running in 16th position. Several drivers, and there is Cale getting underneath Earnhardt. That fight continuing. Earnhardt. Good battle between those two.
Can I say something? Earnhardt just did something you don't hardly ever see on the short track. He's passing cars on the outside. He's found the groove now that he is just motoring by Neil Bonnet right now on the outside, and he's found him a groove that's quicker than the bottom part of the racetrack.
Several drivers have brought their Daytona Super Speedway cars here. We asked Jerry Nelson, who set up the winning car here a year ago, if those cars can be competitive.
You took a super speedway car to a short track, you're just not going to run with the leader. You'll be back in the pack, 10th, 9th, somewhere in there. So there's small differences, but they mean possible 10 positions on the racetrack.
That number 3 car is slowing down.
I don't know what's wrong. He was passing cars on the outside. I don't know whether he's cut a tire down or had motor problems.
Well, the Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt. And there's number 71, Mike Alexander, trying to come around him. He's still not pitting, but something is amiss on that car. It was 35 laps complete of 400.
Again, he's having motor trouble because he would have made a pit stop had it been a tire. He's having a problem somewhere with the power plant in that automobile.
Leader remains Waltrip. Second is Bouchard. Third, Ricky Rudd. Fourth is Terry Labate, and fifth is Richard Brooks. Now you're back with the Bandit again, and Neil Bonnet is right with him. That was Darrell Warrior, and that's Waltrip. They're already closing the lap out here in car number 33 is about to go a lap down. Just an incredible performance by Darrell Waltrip as he closes and just motors by everyone.
Well, that car is going anywhere he wants to go. High, low, he's just taking his spots, he's passing them. Like you say, when you lap Harry Gant the first 100 laps, you've done something.
So car number 33 feels the steel of Darrell Waltrip working his way through this field, lapping everyone out here. Let's go to the SCP Pit Communications Center. Here's Dave Despain.
Well, of course, Darrell Waltrip and the rest of these drivers have real extra incentive to run up front here and at every race on the NASCAR circuit. That incentive comes from the 7-Eleven Mileage Leader Program. At the end of the year, the driver who leads the most miles in Winston Cup competition will pick up a $20,000 bonus. They ran 500 miles last week at Daytona Beach, Florida. Cale Yarborough took the lead in the Mileage Leader competition from 7-Eleven. He led a whopping 222.5 miles down at Daytona. Waltrip, Petty, Earnhardt all got in at 2. We started at 0 here today at Richmond. Darrell Waltrip has led the first 18 miles officially. He's led every lap of this race. It's 18 miles so far. There's a $3,000 bonus here for the guy who leads the most miles at Richmond. Ken?
All right, the field motoring down into the turn. We have number 3 now on pit road. Number 3, Dale Earnhardt, is on pit road, and they're looking beneath the car right side, buddy.
Well, you can't really tell what they're doing. They looked under the car like something might be loose, but all they did was put fuel in it, so we'll have to wait and see what's developing here.
The 88 and the 98 continue their own war as they fight for 7th position out here. Here is number 3, Earnhardt, back on the track in that Chevrolet another time. And Waltrip just flying through traffic. Let's get a report from Benny Parsons on pit road.
Again, we have checked with Tim Brewer, the crew chief on Tim Richmond's car, and they said that they tried a new tire stagger today before the race started. Evidently, it's not working because Tim Richmond is dropping back. On the Dale Earnhardt car, the car number 3, he was black flagged because his window net came down.
Thank you very much. That's a report from Benny Parsons down on pit road as the field continues to unlimber around this half-mile track. We're early in the going if you're just joining us live on WTVS today. They have now completed 43 laps, and there's the leader about to lap Dean Combs is Darrell Waltrip, who in the early going is just showing incredible muster. Super Cruiser, this number 11. Bouchard is second, Rudd is third, Terry Labate maintaining fourth, and Richard Brooks is in fifth. Going sixth right now is Tim Richmond. In the 7th spot is Joe Ruttman, 8th is Bobby Allison, 9th is Neil Bonnet, and 10th is Richard Petty. So the question is, can car number 11, Darrell Waltrip, continue this incredible pace? More from Richmond, Virginia, live. You're inside the Skoal Bandit cars. We resume here at Richmond, Virginia. Harry Gant running in 18th position at the present time, closing up on that number 97 of Dean Combs as he goes down into turn number 3. We asked Harry Gant earlier if you have to get rough at a track like Richmond.
The cars are so close, it's one groove, you know, and everybody's running in the corner, so you're going to expect it on a track. I think all the drivers do, and there's really nothing ever said about if you do get into a driver and, you know, wreck a car or something up there, but it's a track. All these short tracks are real hard tracks, and you got to trade a lot of sheet metal.
Well, right now, out in front, it's car number 11, about to put a lap on Cale Yarborough, if you can imagine that.
That's pretty hard to understand, but like you said, that is a super speedway car, and that number 11 car of Junior Johnson's is the finest built short track cars around.
There he is. That's what they call a long track car. What's the difference between a long track and a short track car, buddy?
Well, the offsets, left side weight, front to rear weight is the most important part, is getting the weight on the rear tires where it'll come off the corner. This car's Cale's is probably 150 pounds heavier on the nose than the car that Darrell's running.
Darrell Waltrip off to a marvelous start. Let's get a report from Jerry Garrett.
Dale Earnhardt Sr. with Kirk Shelder in the Super 2 team. Kurt, what was wrong with Dale's car? One of our rear ends on the short back. Caught on fire there, Dale.
much, Jerry. The battle continuing to build between 47 and the 15 car. You're watching 47, Ron Bouchard, and right behind him, the driver that was the victim of that terrible crash 2 weeks ago down at Daytona. Car number 15 in the clash. Ricky Rudd's 15 went side over side. Here they are running in a tight battle for second place. Moving up is Ricky Rudd. A quick report from Benny Parsons.
Yes, Ken, I'm down in Harry Gant's pit, and I've checked with Travis Carter. His car is a little bit loose, but the biggest problem that Harry's got is the car is jumping out of gear. He's having to hold the thing in gear. They plan on a pit stop using a rubber board to tie the thing in high gear once it gets going.
56 laps have been completed, and car number 33, the Travis Carter machine, is having problems jumping out of gear. Now there you see Jeff Bodine moving around car number 28. Bodine pulls up and goes by car number 28. He's now in 11th position. Yarborough is back in 12th. Lake Speed reported in the 13th position as you see him come by, and in 14th is Bill Elliott. The laps beginning to roll off, and it is an impressive display for the Junior Johnson team. Car number 11 still lapping machinery everywhere he wants to go on the racetrack. It's pretty much his to do today. Now you see number 5, that's the Jeff Bodine car, which is your 11th place automobile. Right behind him, Cale Yarborough in 12th, Lake Speed in 13th. And lapping his teammate, there goes Darrell Waltrip. Looks like he wants win 58 pretty badly out there today, Buddy Baker.
I'll tell you what, the way he's going to get it too. He's up behind Richard Petty now to put a lap on Richard in the early going like his. That's a phenomenal feat, but he's really not pulling away from the 47 or 15 car that much. They're going right along with him. So these cars are really hooked up right now, and they're doing their job.
60 of 400 laps complete. And here is Darrell Waltrip, who came out of Daytona better than ever this year. He just had a marvelous Daytona. Of course, a few years ago, here he is putting a lap on Petty. He had a good finish down there in 79, but it was in a car that was running on 7 cylinders. He came out so optimistic, and now today, whereas Bobby Allison made a great comeback on this track a year ago, it is all to date the story of Darrell Waltrip. Now you're looking again at second place. And Ricky Rudd, who still has a little buzz in his head from that terrible crash, is in that second spot, or third spot, crying for second for Ron Bouchard. Here's Dave Despaigne.
Ron Bouchard, Ken, has been so busy, his crew tell us, that he has not uttered one word on his radio. We talked earlier today about the combination. Typically, the driver and crew chief talk constantly, exchanging information about how the track is changing and how to adjust the car. We remind you once again, we also suggested that a driver might run like a rabbit for 100 laps. That's what Darrell Waltrip is doing. But he cannot run that same combination all day long. I don't care who he is or how good the car is. This track will change. And when it changes, Bouchard, Rudd, Labonte, and the rest of this field are going to be ready to come up and try to take the measure of Waltrip. One other point. Think of the satisfaction that Waltrip took in lapping Cale Yarborough here after Yarborough zapped him last week in the Daytona 500, the moment that everybody knew would come as the draft did its thing at Daytona. Cale Yarborough and Darrell Waltrip, of course, with a little bad blood from a couple of previous incidents. Waltrip took a lot of delight in lapping Cale early here today.
Lapping the 8th place car, that's Darrell Waltrip putting a lap on Tim Richmond. And talk about having the field covered. What a performance by Waltrip. He came out here, he seems very... Now, there's your second place battle. 47, yellow and white car. Right behind it, the yellow and blue car. 15 is third. Lake Speed, the number 1 car in your picture. Lake Speed has been battling in the 13th position. He is 13th. And now he gets pinned on the outside as the battle for second progresses into turns 1 and 2. 47, Bouchard out of Fitchburg, Mass., who won the 1981 Talladega 500, still seeking that second win, maintaining second position as they come around to complete 67 laps this time by. Some 333 laps to go, so it's still way early for the kind of pace this car number 11. He's running as if he was a rabbit on a 2-car team.
He is doing that, and I tell you, the car is working wonderful. He's coming up on Bobby Allison now. He's only like a second and a half behind Bobby Allison now, and Bobby's trying to stay in the same lap because he will readjust on the pit stop and get his car to handle as well as anybody here.
Well, it's total domination, and there has not been a caution flag to date. We now have 7 cars in the lead lap. You're looking at the second place car, Ron Bouchard in the 47. There is Ricky Rudd, the yellow and blue car, in third. And then there's an interval that goes back about 2 seconds to car number 44, Terry Labonte in fourth, and then Richard Brooks running in the 5th position. Now you're looking at a pass for 10th position. Cale Yarborough, the 28 car, and car number 5. Jeff Bodine at it there. And look at that second place battle right behind them. Cale Yarborough working the inside, Bodine on the outside. Yarborough trying to take back some ground here. Jeff Bodine on the outside. We will be back with more from the Richmond Fairgrounds before a sellout crowd on a beautiful day as Darrell Waltrip continues to own this race. Laps complete at 400. There's the battle for second position. Bouchard is still there, knocking on the door. What a comeback story on Ricky Rudd in car number 15, maintaining that third position. The Bud Moore car looking good. He goes down the inside another time. Ricky Rudd is trying to work his way through. Fights down the inside, can't quite get through. Bouchard holds him off. Let's see what will happen in turn number 3. Here comes Rudd back working the inside. It seems as though turns 1 and 2 are the places he likes to pass. But right now, Bodine is going to... Oh, we got a spin in turn number 1. First caution of the day coming out. Second and third place barely scraping by. It comes. Caution number 1 at lap 78. 48. Trevor Boyce in the James Hilton car. Spinning in turn 1 brings out the first caution. 7 cars run in the lead lap. With Waltrip the leader, Bouchard second, Rudd third, Labonte fourth, Brooks fifth, Joe Ruttman in 6th, Bobby Allison in 7th, and now Richmond is 8th, the lap down with 9th Petty, 10th Neil Bonnet, 11th Bodine, 12th Yarborough, 13th Speed, 14th Dave Marcus is on the move, and 15th Bill Elliott. We have a replay I believe we can look at of what happened down here, turn number 1. There are those leaders taking the high side to stay out of trouble.
Looks like Trevor Boyce is stopped there.
Trevor Boyce coming to a halt on the bottom of the racetrack as he had trouble getting into turn number 1. Here he is coming around, back under power. Leaders are on pit road. There's number 11 and number 28. The leader is, of course, number 11, Darrell Waltrip. And getting blocked in there a bit. Very tight on that pit road. Tire change. Left side's coming on. Get a Kyle Petty's car. Trying to get back into this one. And they're changing the wedge on car number 7. Now you're back with Harry Gant as they stay under caution. Presumably he'll come in right now.
He's coming in pit road right now.
Transmission that keeps jumping out on him. Leader number 11 with total domination thus far. Bobby Allison won it last year, twice the winner here at Richmond. He comes out.
Not only is Darrell running very well, he's the first car behind the pace car, so that means they're doing their homework right in the pits, too.
There's the Skull Bandit, number 33, with our onboard camera. Harry Gant, who's having problems with this transmission. David Pearson, winner of this race on 4 occasions. And now you see Joe Ruttman, who's been doing some work. And now take a look at what goes on from inside the car as they work on Harry Gant. Here comes Phil Parsons, number 66, out of the pits. Number 1, Lake Speed, returning to track. Flex wire, and you're with Harry Gant hustling down this very busy, very congested pit road on this half-mile track where WTBS is bringing you live the Richmond 400, the richest half-mile race in the history of stock car racing. $243,000 at stake here today. As they line up and come back out, the lead car is the number 11. And the 47 stays in the second spot, with third spot still Ricky Rudd, and right behind him Terry Labonte in fourth. The one major change, I believe, is that Bobby Allison will find himself in the fifth position. First caution of the break of the race is a great break for Bobby Allison, who is in danger of being lapped. More from Richmond, Virginia in a moment. We're just back under green. Just a lap ago, they came back under green, and the running order, Waltrip's big advantage, has been washed away. In the second spot is Ron Bouchard. Still in third is Ricky Rudd. There's your leader, number 11, Waltrip, out of turn 2 on this half-mile track before it looks to be a record crowd. The fourth position remains Labonte. Fifth is Allison. Sixth is Richard Brooks. Seventh is Joe Ruttman. Those front seven in the lead lap. A lap back in eighth is Tim Richmond. With ninth, Bill Elliott, and 10th belonging to Neil Bonnet. That's the situation at the moment as car number 11 has his sights set on just dominating this race. Car number 11 could really move and take a very staunch hold on that $20,000 prize for leading the most laps from the 7-Eleven people this year. Now you're back again with Harry Gant trying to work around J.D. McDuffie, holding that car in gear as he fights it into the main straightaway. Down he goes into turns 1 and 2 and pulls around McDuffie and tries to pull up in traffic. But it is a hard day for Harry Gant, headed back into turn 3. Here's your second place car, Bouchard, and right behind him, you see Tim Richmond running 8th.
Again, I've noticed something. Ron Bouchard seems to be getting in the number 3 corner a little bit better than Darrell now. He's closed his interval down since the restart.
Now you see Neil Bonnet. We've got trouble in turn 2. A car spinning all the way around. Greg Sachs has just spun. He's going to bring out another caution. Greg Sachs, number 51, looping in turn number 2, second caution of the day. And this is a great advantage for those cars running off the first position, because they can come in and do a little work. And the key word is combination, trying to make these cars work perfectly on this half-mile track, which is a rough track, a slippery track. It really tests what a car and driver has to offer.
Well, you really get into a situation of teamwork now, because they communicate with the pit area and tell them exactly what the car is doing. They run over and get whatever they need to make the car handle better. And like you say, Ron Bouchard right now, he didn't lose an inch to Darrell Waltrip after the restart. If anything, he was gaining a little bit of time on him.
Greg Sachs, Chevrolet, number 51, the car that spun, bringing out the second caution of the afternoon. Let's see if Waltrip will elect to pit. The car has been running so well, I doubt it. He was just in a few moments ago. The race now stands 91 laps deep. We're on Darrell Waltrip's car, the lead car right behind the safety car. 1 lap and they'll be underway. How do you set up a car for Richmond, Darrell Waltrip?
Richmond is a very difficult track to set a car up for. It's slick, it's flat, it's narrow. I won there in '81. I haven't won there since. I've been on the pole several times at Richmond. We have not really found a good combination. That's the only short track that we haven't dominated on is Richmond, Virginia, and we've got to work a little harder there.
They're certainly working hard there today. A year ago, he came in here hurt from Daytona. Then he came back in the fall, sat on the pole, and went backwards all day. The car just did not work right. Today, he's showing that domination he was talking about. Greg Sachs, the man who spun in turn 2, has pitted his car and rejoined the field. And here we are, ready to take green. 93 laps have been completed. 93 laps have been completed, and there's 47 Bouchard. Let's see if he can deal with him here. On the outside, look at Ricky Rudd trying to move around to put a lap on Neil Bonnet. Bonnet sure doesn't want to go down to any more than he has to. He'd like to get back a lap. And Bouchard is definitely able to run with the leader, number 11, a little better than he has in the past 80 laps. Let's go quickly to Jerry Garrett.
We're with Jeff Hammond, and we're Darrell Waltrip's crew. Jeff, is Darrell running as good now as he was?
Yes, everything seems like it's working real well. We changed 4 tires the last stop. The car's still performing real well, but it's still early in the race, and we got a long ways to go, so we'll just have to play 1 step at a time.
What's he saying to you on the radio?
right now, the biggest concern is just trying to, when he gets on out a little ways, he's having trouble keeping up with who's in second place. So we're just trying to keep that right there, the interval, where he'll understand what's going on.
Still plenty of confidence in pit number 11.
95 laps are now down, and there you see Waltrip in front. And let's take a look at what's going on back in third spot. There is Ricky Rudd, and Bobby Allison's right there with him. Allison in the number 22, trying to move around and take third spot. The man who won this race a year ago. He's won this February event on 2 occasions, tries to move in. He has his man boxed on Tim Richmond, but can he put him away? There you also see car number 9, the car that won at Riverside on WTBS in the final race of 1983. That's Bill Elliott's car. And this year again, WTBS will bring you live coverage of the 2 decision makers. The race at Atlanta and the race at Riverside, California at the end of '84.
I see something happening here. Here comes Neil Bonnet now after he made his adjustments. He's going by Ronnie Bouchard right now, and he's going to try to unlap himself.
Meanwhile, battle for third spot. There you see it, Allison and Rudd, wheel to wheel. It is Ricky Rudd and the Budmore Ford on the inside and up the outside. Car number 22, Bobby Allison getting a bite. Rim riding his way into the back straightaway. Bobby Allison, defending national champion, has picked up a spot, and Allison finds himself in third. Ricky Rudd is drop kicked back to fourth. Tim Richmond stays right there. Remember, he's in 8th position, a lap down. Now let's see what Allison will do with him as he tries to go after Ron Bouchard in 2nd place. Here's Bobby Allison trying to move around. Tim Richmond going down the back straightaway, tries him on the inside. It looks like he has him. So Bobby Allison in the car number 22, which qualified in the 11th position for this race. Back inside the Skull Bandit, hanging on to Richard Petty. He's currently running 16th. Richard Petty in 15th. And there you see car number 44. Now that's Terry Labonte running 5th. Right behind him in 6th is Richard Brooks and then Joe Ruttman. There's 44, your 5th place car. And right behind him, that Ford of Junie Donlevy, number 90. And number 98, Ruttman, stays on the tail end of the lead lap in the 7th spot. 5th, 6th, and 7th right there. Leader another time. It's still Waltrip. Let's go to Dave Despang.
Ken, one of the things that we're seeing with Darrell Waltrip is that car is running very low on the racetrack. Now, that's a good line, and it's a fast line, but it's also a line that causes some potential problems. Sometimes these cars will actually come off the inside of the racetrack in the corners, and when they do so, they kick up rocks and debris onto the track. Result? Flat tires. It's a real potential problem here at Richmond, and it could very well be a factor here that will affect the outcome of this race. Don't be surprised if you see front runners coming in for new rubber after running over a rock on the racetrack.
Car number 52 was just lapped by number 11. That 52 has been showing some smoke. You saw him going down the back straightaway. Jimmy Means, we thought he might be losing an engine a lap ago. Thus far, they have not brought him in, and apparently isn't putting any oil down on the track. There's your leader. Another time was Darrell Waltrip in number 11. And another part of this story on the number 11 car is running directly behind him now. In 8th position, he's passed Tim Richmond. Behind the 11 is the sister car from that team, the Warner Hodgson Jr. Johnson team. There's the 11 and there's the 12. And that's the story. Neil Bonnet, Buddy Baker, seems to be finding the combination. And those cars running nose to tail here, actually a lap apart, but Bonnet has made a nice comeback.
Well, that's the thing that happens on a short track race. Neil went in the pits, made some adjustments, and he's running just as well as Darrell Waltrip now. And I just wonder when he gets up there if the team spirit will be there to let him unlap himself.
I doubt that very much. Team spirit goes only so far. There's no contracted drivers like in Formula One where one man must finish behind the other according to contract. Take what you can get out here. There they are. Late report on the attrition shows that 3 cars have retired. Pearson has gone behind the wall. Jimmy Means and now Ronnie Thomas. Report on the front 3. Now let's see if this number 12 car is going to be able to take a lap back. Heavy traffic further back. Jeff Bodine's 5 car on the outside, trying to find just any kind of running room. Only 2 cautions to date in the race. And look at Neil Bonnet continue to close up on his teammate, the leader, Darrell Waltrip. More live on Superstation WTBS in a moment from Richmond. We're back with you live at Richmond here on WTBS, watching Darrell Waltrip dominate. But the story is the team car. Number 12, Neil Bonnet, running in 8th, the lap down, trying to make a lap up. They've hit the combination on number 12, and now Bonnet's going for it. Meanwhile, running in the 2nd position, overall in the field is this man, number 47. That's Ron Bouchard, and right there, closing ground, is Bobby Allison in number 22. Let's go to Benny Parsons on pit road.
Yeah, and I'm in the pits with David F., the crew chief on Ron Bouchard's car. David, you've got both those team cars, those 2 Budweiser cars in front of you. What can you do about that?
Well, Bonnet's a lap down, so Darrell's the only one we're running against, but Bobby Allison, we're holding the same pace as Darrell and Bobby, and we got a long way to go. If we can stay in the same lap with them, then we'll adjust toward the end of the race.
Okay, Ken, that's it from David F.
Car number 12. Now we're 47 and 22. 12 is definitely showing like he wants to make a move and take a lap back. But here's where the battle is. This is for 2nd position. Ron Bouchard from Pittsburgh, Massachusetts. Unsponsored car. Notice nothing on the rear flank of that machine. There's Bonnet right up there looking for a hole, and it's not there. Clark Dwyer, the rookie from Colorado, down there on the inside, but Bonnet is trying to move through. Here comes Neil Bonnet again, trying to take the lap back. They're calling it the Winston Cup Super Team. 2 of the most talented drivers in stock car racing, joined under a single banner. Dave Despain has the story. We'll get back to that in just a moment. We're watching car number 12 still trying to take it back. Still Bonnet trying to work up through. He has 8th position. Can he take back the lead right now from Waltrip? Overhaul him and get back to the lead lap. All important if Neil Bonnet can pull it off here. Meanwhile, battle is still strong further back in 2nd position, but Bouchard is there, as you see, going down at turn number 1. Bobby Allison trying him a little.
Well, Ken, he got all the way up beside Bouchard then and had to pull back in because of slower traffic. But Bobby's on the move now. It's same old Richmond every time. Darrell and Bobby and those guys, they just come on stronger as they go.
Ricky Rudd in 4th. Now you see Bonnet with a clear shot. He's going to try the outside out of 2. Joe Ruttman is pulled up into 5th. 6th spot, Terry Labonte. 7th, Brooks. And look at these team cars come into the main straightaway. Bonnet trying with everything he's got to make that lap up. He's up on the outside. He has a clear track. It's Waltrip on the inside. Neil Bonnet inching his way along, working the outside of turn 2. Here he comes. And Neil Bonnet is going to go back into the lead lap. So that moves the Neil Bonnet car into the lead lap, running in 8th. Caution could come out here. He could circulate around the track and be right up behind him.
I must tell you this. When he come off the number 2 corner, I saw Darrell wave him by on the outside. So, all team spirit is not dead.
Well, a moment ago we were talking about this super team. Let's try to get it. Look at this pass. Here comes 22 Allison down on the inside. He may have it for 2nd. There go the team cars up in front. The battle is for that 2nd position going into turn number 1. Battle is still on, and Bouchard fights him off. He stays in 2nd. Allison having to settle for 3rd. There they are, 47 and 22, and also making his way up in there another time. Out of the back, there's Earnhardt, who's been running that high groove, and he's trying to make up a lap. There you see 47 and 22 in a tremendous struggle.
I tell you, number 3 car of Dale Earnhardt right now is the fastest car on the track. He's passed Bobby Allison and pulled off right now. And as you see, he's running an entirely different groove. He's running way high in the corners, and he'll catch Bouchard in the next couple of laps. He will unlap himself.
Bouchard getting a chance to pull away for just a moment from Allison, but here comes Earnhardt, looking really strong in the number 3 Chevrolet. Down the back straightaway at over 100 miles per hour. Then he eases down. Look at Earnhardt up on the outside. Earnhardt trying to gather ground and get back into this race.
This will do something else too, Ken. Bobby Allison, seeing that higher groove as being a faster way around the racetrack, I think he'll pick up momentum by watching.
The number 3 car, the yellow and blue car, now goes back to the inside on 47. Earnhardt out of the top 15 at the present time. But look at him out of turn number 4 and down the main straightaway. That's as rapid as any transportation here this afternoon. And Allison is beginning to hook up on the inside. Way low is Allison, getting back down to the bear grease and trying to work his way through.
Well, right now, all Earnhardt has to remember is not to forget that high groove. When he goes low, he runs like everybody else. But when he moves to the high side of the racetrack, he begins to pick up ground on everybody.
There you see the super team again. 2 of the most talented drivers in stock car racing are there, joined under a single banner. And here's Dave Despain with that story.
Junior Johnson is a stock car racing legend. He's won a lot of Grand National races as a driver. Now he's the sport's most successful car owner. But this year, Junior sold half his race team to California millionaire Warner Hodgson, who brought along Neil Bonnet as the team's second driver. Darrell Waltrip, who's won 2 championships for Junior, was opposed to a 2-car team.
Everybody has the misconception that we're a 2-car team. We're not. We're 2 individual racing teams, 2 separate cars, 2 separate shops, totally separate crews, sponsored by the same company.
But the fact remains that Junior Johnson's racing savvy is now being shared by 2 drivers.
Junior is a motivator, and he'll still be around if we have a problem, but he'll be more like a doctor now. He'll float back and forth. Whoever's sick and having a problem, that's where he'll be.
Neil Bonnet won Daytona's Busch Clash, his first ride in a Junior Johnson car, and he's happy.
The cars are excellent race cars. I've got very good people working on the car. I've got the very best racing equipment, and I was the very first one to say, if I don't win races, it's my fault. They're giving me winning equipment, and I can sit in that car and feel how good it is, and it makes me very optimistic for the season.
Waltrip and Bonnet, a potent 1-2 punch, ran 3rd and 4th respectively, mere car lengths behind the winner in the Daytona 500. Waltrip thinks that's just the beginning for NASCAR's new super team.
You know, Budweiser spent a lot of money to have 2 race cars in the race. That's a big plus for us. One of us is bound to, we could win every race if things went well for us.
Well, they certainly are showing some real authority out here thus far. There's Neil Bonnet, who's back in the lead lap. Let's go to Benny Parsons.
In the pits with Jeff having the crew chief on Darrell Waltrip's car. Jeff, just a moment ago, Darrell let Neil go by, or did he let him go by, or did Neil drive by?
Well, Benny, when it gets down to a situation like this, even though we're team cars, they're out there racing each other pretty hard, and right now I believe that Neil's got a real good set of tires on. He got down a lap early to us, and I think he's driving awful hard, to get back in the lead. That's what he's already done, and I believe we got a set of tires not quite as quick as we had a while ago. And I believe when Darrell realized that he was off just a little bit, I just think he, decided not to contest Neil, a great deal, and let him go on. So we're going to make a few adjustments to try to get Neil back down that lap, because on the racetrack, he's another competitor, and we've got to do our best to outrun him.
Okay, thank you very much. Now to Jerry Garrett on another different story.
Very early in this race, one of the big names in this race, David Pearson, dropped out. And David, what happened to you?
Well, it was the rear end. We thought that we had everything under control yesterday afternoon. We were running real good. And this morning we decided to change gear, and we put one in. I put a brand new gear in. It never had been broke in. And I guess that's the reason it burned it up.
Well, a very short trip back here after 12 years for David Pearson.
David Pearson, 3-time Grand National Champion, out of it today. There's number 12, Bonnet, trying to go around, I believe, Mike Alexander down there as they whittle away at turn 2. Now you're looking at a battle for 10th position. In the 10th position, Bill Elliott in that car number 9, and right behind him is Tim Richmond in 11th in car number 27. They're putting a lap on the Buick number 2. Morgan Shepherd driving that car that Tom Sneva drove at Daytona a week ago. or the same team as the year. And look at this. Morgan's out there just a bit, and as he gets a little high, closing ground is Tim Richmond. Richmond closing up, trying to take 10th position away from the Bill Elliott car. Here's number 11, Waltrip, still dominating, still in front. But the man everybody is talking about at the moment is his teammate, Neil Bonnet, running in 8th. By the Stroh Brewery Company, family brewed quality for over 200 years. Brewers of Stroh's, Old Milwaukee, and other fine beers. Here at Richmond Fairgrounds, live on WTBS today, car number 22, Bobby Allison, running in 4th position. There with him, you see the Ricky Rudd car. They have just swapped positions. Allison has picked up 3rd while we were away, and car number 15, Ricky Rudd, is back in 4th. Allison still looking very stout. The lap difference right now, we have covered 150 of the 400 laps. Buddy Baker.
Yes, I noticed that Darrell's dropping off the pace a little bit, and Bouchard's now moving up on him. He's closed about almost a full second on him, and he's in the about 8 car lengths back now and really coming on.
Well, let's give our viewers an interval if we can here and show. There's the 47 car, Bouchard right behind him, and there you see the 11 car, as Buddy was pointing out. That interval stood at almost a straightaway at one time. That's gone away, and the question now is there something amiss on that number 11 Warner Hodgson Jr. Johnson car up in front that had entirely dominated the first part of this race? Bouchard, the slightly higher line, it seems to be closing.
I've noticed in the 3rd and 4th corner that Bouchard's taking a higher line around the racetrack, and Darrell's trying to run the low groove. It may be getting a little slicker down there, and Bouchard's using the upper part of the track that's a little bit tighter now.
Remember, we have 8 cars running the lead lap, with Allison 3rd, Rudd 4th, Rutman 5th, Labonte 6th, Brooks in 7th, and Neil Bonnet rounding out that octet up in front. Then comes Dale Earnhardt in 9th, Bill Elliott in 10th, Tim Richmond is 11th, Blake Speed is 12th, Bodine 13th, Morgan Shepherd 14th, Dave Marcus 15th.
We've got a race developing, Ken. The 47 car now is closing in on the lead car, and Bobby Allison's closing in on the 47 car, and Ricky Rudd is right there with Bobby Allison. So we're going to have a shootout here pretty quick.
Front 4 cars all gathering up here in our live coverage from Richmond. Let's go to Benny Parsons.
Ken, I had just talked to Bud Moore, the crew chief on Ricky Rudd's Wrangler Ford, and asked him about Ricky's condition, how he was making it. Bud assured me that Ricky is fine. The problem, he said the car right now, the chassis is not exactly right, that they're waiting for another stop so they can change the tire stagger. As we've talked about before, probably the most critical thing here at Richmond, the size of the tires.
Be an issue before this one is over today. It always is an issue on this track, not the tires themselves, but this particular surface really beats them up.
Well, it does that, Ken. First thing you got is stagger is you get one set that is a 1/4 of an inch difference in the height from the right rear to left rear tire, and you got a situation where a car that was pushing all of a sudden is loose in the corner. So tire stagger is very important. You heard Darrell Waltrip's crewman say a while ago they didn't feel that they had a good set of tires on right now. And from what's happening right now, it looks like he was right. They're closing in on him.
Let's go to Dave Despay.
Well said, Buddy Baker. Remember, that's the combination. You've got to have the right set of tires. You can have it early in the race. Darrell Waltrip did, ran away with the leaderboard. Now he's lost it. The rest of the field are catching up with him. We turn momentarily to the subject of attrition. 31 cars are still running out of 32 that started. David Pearson is out with a rear end problem. That's the differential. It's part of the drivetrain that takes such a beating here because you accelerate so hard and then slow down so abruptly. Pearson's car out with differential. Ronnie Thomas came in, changed the differential, and went back out. We'll take Jimmy Means off the attrition board. He has fixed the mechanical problem with his car. Can't get him back in the race. We'll put him back in the running order. 31 cars are out there. Back to you, Ken.
Car number 43, Richard Petty, is now on pit road. The 43 car has pulled in. He was running way back, and he is in trouble. Number 11, There is Petty coming out. Seems to be something amiss on number 43, the Petty car. Here he is, back on the track. He had been running in the 16th position. Not a good day for the man who has won 13 races here at Richmond, Virginia, the all-time story of this track. A switch now in the back of the field as well. Neil Bonnet continuing to clamber up through traffic, finds himself in 7th. Brooks has been relegated to 8th, and we still have 8 cars in the lead lap. And there you are with Darrell Waltrip, the leader. Now you're back with Harry Gannon, car number 33, running in 17th position. He's picked up a spot. He's gone to 16th as Richard Petty is pitted. But Gant is having transmission problems today.
Well, I guarantee you one thing. If it's jumping out of gear going in the corner, that's one of the worst things you can have on a race car. You also notice the windshield on that car is beginning to look like a racing windshield. By the end of the day, it'll be really hard to see through.
Putting another lap on Cale Yarborough, a winner a week ago of the Daytona 500. Darrell Waltrip continuing to fly his colors in the lead. He has dominated from the very top in our live coverage today. The laps, well, we stand 162 laps deep, 63 laps deep in the event. And still on the move is the Neil Bonnet car. That's the one. Bonnet has just taken the 6th position. Terry Labonte falling to 7th. 11 is your leader. And the sister car has made up a lap and is continuing to wheel through traffic. There you see that number 12 car. He's up behind 5, Jeff Bodine. Bodine is running in 14th. Stays right there. He is just scratching and digging and fighting his way through this field. Into the main straightaway. Down he comes, number 12. Neil Bonnet having a marvelous return up into the top of this race, trying to get underneath Jeff Bodine.
I tell you one thing, Neil Bonnet must be just handling perfect. He has opened up a 12-second differential between he and Darrell. You can understand him going by him to make up his lap, but he'll be in contention here if he keeps going like he's going if they don't have caution, because he is really playing.
The leader still is the 11 car of Waltrip. Now you see Neil Bonnet still trying to deal. There he is, out of Hueytown, Alabama, with Jeff Bodine, getting pinched a little. Bobby Allison is making some moves on turn number 3. Bobby Allison trying to make some running on Ron Bouchard. They're fighting further back. Here is the leader, Waltrip. Number 22 up on the outside is finding the mark on Bouchard and just getting by, and here comes that Earnhardt car.
Ricky Rudd. Ricky Rudd just made a move
car
down the back stretch, and it's something else.
That's the old Earnhardt car. It is now the Ricky Rudd car, and the number 3 Chevrolet is now a fellow named Dale Earnhardt. Here's Allison. He is now 2nd. And Ricky Rudd is in 3rd. Car number 11 may be slowing down a tad out here. The story, how about it, Benny Parsons?
Again, you're exactly right. Darrell Waltrip is slowing down. I've checked with Jeff Hammond, and our suspicion is exactly right. The tire stagger is off. The size of the tires is not exactly one. It's not exactly what they want. Meanwhile, Darrell's sitting out there. There's nothing he can do. They have to have a pit stop or a caution flag to change all 4 tires to get the stagger back right. Meanwhile, he's trying to make the best of whatever he can. He's trying to do the best he can until he can make a pit stop.
Well, the thunder continues with Darrell Waltrip in front. Allison now in 2nd. Here's another update from Jerry Garrett.
Richard Petty's pit talking with his crew chief. What was the problem that caused Richard to come into the pit? Well, we had a little misfortune in the SCP Pontiac today. We had a flat tire. It was going flat quite a few laps, but we're back out there running, and hopefully it's a long race, and we can make a couple of laps back and have a good finish. He's done it before. Maybe he can do it again.
There's Richard Petty's number 43 running up against the Raymock car, number 75, for which he almost drove, and now Dave Marcus is in it. They go down through turns 1 and 2, do a little shimmy and shake. 43 on the inside and 75 on the outside. That Dave Marcus, of course, in the 75 has won here on 2 previous occasions. One rain shortened, The other a great battle. And both times that Marcus won it, Richard Petty was the man who finished in second. Now you see Waltrip still leading car number 11. So Darrell Waltrip continues to lead, but the report from Benny Parsons is he is losing some time out there. More in a moment.
BF Goodrich TA high-tech radials. Update for enthusiasts. Subject, CompTA. Le Mans. The CompTA radial becomes the only street tire ever to win first in class at this event. On the road, this V-Speed-rated tire gives unsurpassed performance. Tests prove cars equipped with CompTA radials handle better overall with outstanding wet traction. The CompTA, just one of the BF Goodrich TA high-tech radials. We make cars perform.
Before Dodge Aries K, there was no way to get the benefits of front-wheel drive in an American wagon. Standard 550 protection, room for 6, and a solid resale record, which explains why our Aries family has joined over 300,000 American families.
We are Dodge, and American
Dodge, best built, best backed American cars.
Formula One, Indy, NASCAR, Can-Am. Nobody covers the world of racing like Auto Week. Auto Week tells you what really happened on the track and behind the scenes every week. Auto Week gives you the fastest, most accurate racing coverage each week, only days after the checkered flag drops. And Auto Week gives you a whole lot more than just racing coverage. Driving impressions put you behind the wheel of every interesting new car. Feature articles cover everything from Econobox to Can-Am Racer, miniatures, tips on maintenance and repair, collector cars, even motorcycles. Now get a year's subscription to Auto Week. 52 issues at the basic price of just $23. Save $42 over the newsstand price. Call 1-800-257-1234 and get this $8 Auto Week t-shirt absolutely free. That's 1-800-257-1234. Operators are standing by. Let Auto Week put you in the driver's seat every week. With Buddy Baker, I'm Ken Squire at the start-finish line of the Richmond Fairgrounds for the richest half-mile race in history. $243,000 at stake. You're watching the battle for second place. That's the defending national champion in the white and red car, Bobby Allison. Directly behind him, the Budmore Ford with Ricky Rudd. And directly in front of that pair is the number 12 Neil Bonnet car running in 6. He is half a lap down to his teammate. There you see, number 12. That is Neil Bonnet running half a lap down to his teammate up in front, Darrell Waltrip. Now you see that second and third place car first, right behind car number 12. Another number 11. As they switch them around, number 11, Darrell Waltrip is there. On the point, Allison is in second, and Rudd is in third, and the second and third place cars are gathering up the leader.
I've noticed that Bobby Allison's working a high groove now, and seems like when they move up there, they really get to catch the hole. We got a wreck on the back straightaway.
Car number 88, Rusty Wallace, and the rookie from Colorado have tangled with a fence, and they've really mashed it. Clark Dwyer, 17, the Roger Hamby car, beaten up, and Rusty Wallace both getting in trouble, bringing out the third caution of the day. Big trouble for the Colorado driver. Yellow is out once again. This is the break that Bonnet wanted.
This puts him right back in the ball game now. I tell you, his car is working great. If his next set of tires, the stagger's right on him, he's ready.
Leaders may take an opportunity to pit right here. Waltrip first, Allison second, Rudd third, Bouchard fourth, Rutman fifth, Bonnet in sixth, Labonte seventh, Richard Brooks is eighth. The lap situation, 184 complete. And there you see the activity along pit road.
That's a pretty shot. Good shot.
Richard Petty's crew, they just had him in. And they await him another time. He went by. He's still trying to gather back some time here, hoping that the way the laps fall with some cars on pit road might let him pick up one. Richard is shown as 17th overall. Now the first car out is one of those team cars.
Darrell Waltrip. Again there.
And there goes the number 3 car, which is the Chevrolet driven by Dale Earnhardt. He had a bad start, but he's made a great recovery and had one of his finest Daytona 500s last year when he finished second. There's Allison out of the number 22. There'll be a scramble among those front 8 cars running the lead lap and at a terrific clip. Third caution of the day starts at lap 184. Interesting to see where Neil Bonnet falls in all of this. He won his first race here in 1977, driving for Jim Stacy in a Dodge. They're in, working on his car, looking for his 14th win here today. He's earned over $1.5 million on this NASCAR Grand National Tour. Finished third here a year ago. The only other top 5 finishes here were 1977 victory in the fall race and third in 78 the fall race. Harry Gantz, number 33, is back on pit road another time. Lowered off the jack and away he goes. Hazardous getting out of there. All kinds of stuff to run around.
I'm telling you, they leave tires everywhere.
Looks like a game in an arcade as they come down pit road. The Skull Bandit, number 33. Lou Bandel, one of the great patrons of the game. He flew all the way down here to see that car run today. He was at Daytona last week. Boy, they've had their share of problems thus far in the event. They're running out of the front 15. They're running in 15th at the present time. Again, just not giving up at all. And this car that comes from the Travis Carter team, owned by Hal Needham. There you see the field as they circulate around. And some of the infield here, that infield was blocked off this morning. 2.5 hours before race time, sold out. And some of the crowd that has gathered record numbers on a cool, brisk day here in Richmond, Virginia.
Even though Neil Bonnet made up his lap, he's at the tail end of the field, and that's not going to help him a whole bunch of closing up on Darrell if he's back to 100%.
Now let's check our leaders as they come by, buddy, on those 8 cars up in front. Waltrip continuing to dominate. He's led 99.7 miles on that 7-Eleven scoreboard for lap domination. It could be worth an extra $3,000 to him today. In second spot is Bobby Allison. And the third spot is now Ron Bouchard, with the fourth spot, Ricky Rudd, as they get ready to go again. Let's go to Benny Parsons.
Yes, I'm down in the pit with Junior Johnson, the crew chief on Neil Bonnet's number 12 Budweiser Chevrolet. Junior, the last run on the green, you had the fastest car on the racetrack by far. Can you keep it there all afternoon?
Well, I think we're going to be in a little bit better shape, Benny, when they drop the green flag again, because we were a little bit loose, and now we've got a little bite in the car, and I think we ought to be able to come back to the front.
I noticed that the pit stop that you had was not a good pit stop. It looked like you had some kind of problem. What was it, Junior?
Well, the jack would not pick the load up. The cylinder leaked down in it, and he just had to keep jacking it up, and it'd go right back down. So I came back after another jack, but they finally got it up and got the tires changed. So, you know, sometimes you have a little problem.
Well, that's one of the reasons that Neil Bonnet is in the back of the field. But tell you one thing, it's going to be exciting to watch him go up through the field. Back to you, Ken.
188 laps have been completed. Again from Gant's car, 15th position. Getting ready for a restart.
The one thing that Neil Bonnet has going for him, they will have the double restart. All lap cars will go to the inside, and the outside cars will be in the lead lap. So Neil will be able to pull up a little closer to the front of the field.
We'll be back with more of the action live from the Richmond Fairgrounds today in the Richmond 400 after these messages. Here at the Richmond Fairgrounds as Waltrip leads. Bobby Allison is in second. Ron Bouchard is in third. Going fourth, Ricky Rudd. Fifth, Joe Rutland. Sixth, number 90, Richard Brooks. Seventh is Labonte. 8th is Bonnet, all in the lead lap. A lap down in 9th is Dale Earnhardt, who's in a scramble trying to make some time up. There you see as they come around number 11, Waltrip out in front. And back there in second is Bobby Allison, about 15 car lengths back. A good jump off the start. We are now at lap 193. There you see the speed at over 100 miles an hour as they thunder down. Out of turn number 2. Here is number 3. Still trying to get some time back, get a lap back, pulling up on the inside. Allison is clear of Dale Earnhardt in number 3. The number 3 car is your 9th place car overall. There's Allison running in second spot. On the back straightaway, Bouchard is slowing down. Ron Bouchard going up toward turn 3, dramatically off the pace at number 47. Bobby Allison stays second. Going to third in the switch around should be car number 98. Indeed, Ruttman is the car on the move. Joe Ruttman continuing to climb up through. And for Ron Bouchard, there he is running very slowly down to the bottom of turn number 1. Bouchard, who's making a good run for it all day, started outside of the front row. Looks like he's headed for pit road.
That's a real shame. Ronnie was running a good race, and all of a sudden he come off. He's got a flat right front, it looks like. Yeah, that's what it is. He's got a right front he's cut down. That's a real shame. He was right up in second place all the way.
So, the tire problems alluded to by Dave Despain at the STP Pit Control Center earlier, and Benny Parsons, catch up with the man who's been running a good stout second and third all day, Ron Bouchard from Pittsburgh, Mass. Allison now second, and Joe Ruttman from Upland, California, working his way up into third spot. Here's Bouchard out of the pits and back underway. Getting toward the halfway point. Number 11, Waltrip, still very much there, putting a lap on Bouchard. Puts him a couple down now. And we have 7 cars running the lead lap. Getting ready for the halfway marker on the field. Halfway on the field this time.
Now we got Bouchard moving up on Darrell. That happens when you have fresh tires. He'll run like that for a couple of laps, but Darrell is really flying again like he was in the first part of the race.
Well, they keep working through all those infinites and suspension and those springs and those shocks, trying to make those cars work right. And Waltrip has had the handle all day. Fresh tires on Bouchard, and he's trying to get a lap back right here, and he just might do it. Now they go into turn 3, and Bouchard slings by on the outside. He is not running in the top 10 nor in the top 15 at the present time. Number 98 is closing a bit. Closing up is the 98 car on the number 22 of Allison. There you see the leader, number 11. That's Waltrip in front, where he has been from the beginning after he set on the pole with a new record at 93 miles an hour. Live coverage on WTBS of this $243,000 400 lap and a half mile, just a little over a half mile around this track. Battle taking place in race number 2 on the $10 million series. There's second and third. Bobby Allison is there in the second spot. 98, the white and yellow car, is Joe Ruttman in that third position, lurking, and right behind him is Ricky Rudd. Now you're watching out of the back of Harry Gant's car as he tries to deal with Dave Marcus. Looks like he could reach out and touch someone from right there. Marcus a little crinkled in the front, and he goes by on the outside. Dave Marcus moving up in car number 75, moving into 14th. Harry Gant falling to 15th there. There's second, third, and fourth. Allison, the white and red number 22. Right behind him, Joe Ruttman, and then the yellow and blue car. That's the Bud Moore Ford. Ricky Rudd hangs on in 5th position. Let's go to Dave Despain.
We finally have a new leader, a second leader to put up on our 7-Eleven mileage leaderboard. Neil Bonnet under yellow did lead 1 lap, 1/2 mile. So he'll be credited with that distance here today in the race for $3,000 extra to the man who leads the most miles in this race. But clearly that man right now is Darrell Waltrip. He has led all but 1 lap of this race. And at the midway point, just over 100 miles, he had recorded that much mileage. And that moves him up into a solid second in the overall year-long race for $20,000.
Cale Yarborough led going into today's race with 222.5 after his miles led at Daytona last week for that $20,000 prize. Number 11, Waltrip, just having a marvelous start to 1984. A sensational race last week. We watched them down the main straightaway. And now he comes back and runs Richmond as well. The battle for second place gets a little stronger. Battle for second really developing now. As 22, Bobby Allison stays there. Back in third, it's Ruttman who nearly had himself gobbled up with that number 15. Working the inside, Ricky Rudd out of Chesapeake, Virginia, playing before a hometown crowd, is going after California's Joe Ruttman in turn number 1. On the bottom of the racetrack, the Ford trying to swing through. Just doesn't have enough coming off it, buddy.
Well, it's going through the corner low, and when you come off the corner, you can't just sweep out toward the fence and keep the power on, so Joe's getting a better line off the corner.
Now there's the 44 car. And that, of course, is the Terry Labonte car, and right in front of it, number 90, Richard Brooks running 5th. Brooks in 5th. The 90 car and the 44 car is in 6th. There they are in the back straightaway. Should be right behind them. There it is. The 12 car is trying to pick up a spot. Here comes Neil Bonnet on the outside as he tries to move around Terry Labonte. Neil Bonnet has put on some kind of show. He's made up a lap, and now you are looking for the struggle that's going on for the 6th position. Terry Labonte using up a lot of racetrack out of 2 as he tries to contain Neil Bonnet. Here comes Bonnet back another time. Bonnet really trying to work the outside. He's there. Can he get through? There's number 90. Richard Brooks in 5th, and right behind him comes that pair. Bonnet just doesn't have room going down the back straightaway. Now he's there. Bonnet is up on the outside. Jimmy Means a lap car in front. Terry Labonte holds on to him, and Neil Bonnet from the back as you see them coming down the main straightaway. 5-10 jump up another spot. Number 12, Neil Bonnet now in 6th. Richard. Got a spinner in turn number 1. Richard Petty looping number 43 to the bottom of the racetrack.
Again, I saw a bunch of them bumping around, and there's on the short tracks, it's unavoidable sometimes, but they were smacking each other pretty hard back there, and I guess Richard got caught in the front end there.
Petty quickly maneuvering around the track, and in the pits, we have the leader. Number 11, Waltrip, is coming in, as is Allison, as is Parsons, as is Ricky Rudd. Leaders all taking this opportunity. Neil Bonnet is in, and Richard Brooks also coming in. You see Cale Yarborough there, number 28, winner of the Daytona 500 just a week ago. There's number 11.
This guy on the back end of this car was putting weight in the car, so they still don't have Darrell quite right, if you can believe that. They're still making adjustments on each pit stop.
Wasting no time. Waltrip coming right out quickly. It has been Waltrip Day in Richmond, Virginia, and when the thousands here were introduced to the drivers, he got a big hoot from this crowd. He seems to accept it a lot better than he did a year ago.
Well, when you run like Darrell Waltrip does, a few boos don't hurt.
We'll be back with more live action of the Richmond 400 on WTBS after these messages.
Today you need an oil this good. You need Quaker State.
I want all the performance this engine can deliver. I need an oil this good.
Today's four-cylinder engines work so hard, they demand an oil this good.
These motor oils are refined exclusively from Pennsylvania-grade crude. Quaker State is so good, it's America's best-selling motor oil.
That engine's my bread and butter. I need an oil this good.
Old cars, new cars. Big cars, small cars. Today you need Quaker State. You need an oil this good.
There is a revolution on the American road, an automotive revolution. It's led by Dodge, and it's changing the way America drives. Because Dodge has a vision, a front-wheel drive, fuel-efficient, fun-to-drive vision of what's been missing from the American road. The result is a fleet of high-tech, meticulously crafted automobiles, a whole new transportation revolution called Caravan, a turbocharged revolution called Daytona Turbo Z. 7 new Dodge models in the past 6 years, 2 this year, and 4 planned for the next 3 years. The longest warranty of any American cars, the most turbocharged models in America, the most front-wheel drive models in America. A revolution, an American revolution.
We are Dodge, an American revolution.
Another year of exciting Braves baseball is almost here. And with Superstation WTBS, you have the best seat in the ballpark to see all 150 games. But you'll need a little help to keep on top of all the action. That's why we're offering you a handy 1984 Braves schedule. It's free. Just send a stamped self-addressed envelope to Braves Schedule, P.O. Box 94086, Atlanta, Georgia 30377. Go ahead and follow America's team throughout the season on Superstation WTBS.
With Harry Gant as we get just back underway. Green flag is out, running in 13th, fighting that car through, having transmission problems. Harry Gant trying to hold on. He's close up here on Lenny Pond, a guy who almost won this race twice. Should have won it, but there are no shoulds in this game more than any other. The new leader is number 15. After the pit stops, the yellow and blue Ford Thunderbird. For Bud Moore's team, Ricky Rudd is out in front. The Virginia driver is in first. Darrell Waltrip is in second. Bobby Allison third. Richmond fourth. Richard Brooks in fifth. Now here is Waltrip trying to close. Black flag has been put out on number 75, Dave Marcus. Consultation flag, they say he jumped on the restart. Now that happened to him down in the 125-mile races at Daytona about 12, 13 days back. 10 days back. Here's that battle for the lead. It is 15. Ricky Rudd right there, and here's Waltrip closing up, trying to move in, trying to get it. Right behind him, Bobby Allison, about 8 car lengths back, lies third, and then Joe Ruttman is the 4th place car, number 98. There's some interval back to the 5th place car, number 90. Richard Brooks, 6th is Neil Bonnet, 7th Labonte, and here comes Waltrip on the inside. Wheel to wheel, just an amazing performance by Ricky Rudd. This tough, scrappy Virginia driver stays right in there. Had 4 pole positions last year, couple of wins. Look at him fight Waltrip. He took a terrible header at Daytona 2 Sundays ago, and look at him stay in there and fight for the lead. On the outside is Ricky Rudd. On the inside, it is Darrell Waltrip, wheel to wheel all the way around. Well, we've got a car blowing up. It's Allison directly behind the leaders, coming in with the engine gone. No caution, no yellow. Allison is in there still wheel to wheel, but that track could be a little greasy up in turn 3. Waltrip goes in front. Here they are diving down. Now yellow is out. Caution now comes on.
It had to come out, Ken.
Were they a little late on that?
I would say, really, you couldn't see. Looking into the sun late in the afternoon like this, you lose all your vision, and you have a blown engine, you don't know where the oil's at or whether the car's there. So
there he is in the 2nd position, number 15, Ricky Rudd. It's remarkable that Ricky Rudd is even here today, let alone a contender in the Richmond 400. Steve Potter tells us why.
Survived this wild crash in the Busch Clash at Daytona. Battered and by his own admission not 100% physically, Rudd came back to finish 7th in the 500 last Sunday. Now he tackles Richmond.
I'm still not 100% right now, but I'm getting there, and it seems like each day I get a little bit stronger. The dizziness seems to bother me a little bit when I get in the corners, and the G-force gets to acting on me a little bit. But I've come a heck of a long way.
Ricky, they say short tracks are tougher on a driver than super speedways. Will you be able to go the distance here today?
Well, I don't know. I didn't think I was going to be able to go 500 miles at Daytona the other day, and I surprised myself I was able to go the distance. I think a lot of it has to do if I can get myself taped up and get some kind of a rig on my ribs where it won't hurt so bad. If I can do that, I think I might be able to go the distance.
Ricky Rudd, number 15. David Wheeler, the brother of H.L. Wheeler, knows a little bit about sports medicine, has been with Ricky Rudd the past several days here. And this race, they feel, will be far tougher on Ricky Rudd. There's Bobby Allison out of his car. What a misfortune for the man who won it just a year ago here and started his great campaign toward the championship. Here's Benny Parsons with Bobby Allison.
Ken, I'm down here with Bobby, as you mentioned. Bobby, for the second race in a row, it seems you've had an engine problem. Is that what happened?
Yeah, the engine blew up.
Exactly. Do you know exactly what happened, or just something inside Lego?
No, just something exploded inside the engine. I don't know what it was.
Again, Ken, for the second race in a row, Bobby Allison's quest for the second straight championship goes down by the wayside.
Bobby Allison, who was gunning for his fourth straight Richmond win, out of it. Robert Yates had a problem at Daytona. They think they have it resolved with three cars that went out with broken cams. One of them being the Richard Petty car, another being that Allison car. But today it really went up in smoke. Waltrip is now within 9 miles of taking the lead in the 7-Eleven standings for mile leaders. Here we are back inside Harry Gant's car as he gets ready to shift her up and come back under the green flag. And after this last caution period, Darrell Waltrip finds himself in the lead. They swapped them around. Richard Brooks is second, and how about this? After that last pit stop, Neil Bonnet's third, Terry Labonte fourth, and Ricky Rudd is back in fifth with Joe Ruttman in sixth, and we have 6 cars running the lead lap. Again, you're inside the Bandit, and Harry Gant's running in 11th. He's right up there with Terry Labonte, the 44 car, which is the 4th place car. Remember, he's running a lap or 2 down. Richard Brooks doing an outstanding job with car number 90 for Judy Donlevy. That's a Virginia-based team. They're running in the 2nd position overall in this 400 lap, approximately 200 miles, better than a $250,000 race. $243,000 to be specific. Here's your leader, 11. Waltrip has just had a day thus far. Can anybody take him off the point, buddy?
Well, I don't really, it'll be a little while because he's in the clear right now and everybody else is trying to get by Dave Marcus and Bill Elliott and those guys. And when you don't have a clear racetrack, the car out there by itself can just overhaul you.
There you see Waltrip out in front. Mammoth crowd gathered today at the Richmond Fairgrounds to see this second race of the season, the first 5.5 mile. Here they are, rolling down through at top speed, over 100 miles per hour on the main straightaway.
Again, these cars are beginning to show a little body wear now. A lot of them have the grills knocked out, the bumpers laid over, and everything else. So they're really beginning to push and shove a little more as they go. And as we get down near the end of the race, these cars won't even look like they did when we started.
5th place, number 15 car, the blue and yellow car of Ricky Rudd. Right behind him was 98 Joe Ruttman, back with the leader. Out for a nice Sunday drive. We're worth about 20 grand if he can pull it off for Waltrip today. Stays there. National race live. The Richmond 400 is being brought to you by the Stroh Brewery Company, brewers of Stroh's, Old Milwaukee, and other fine beers. Latest development here this afternoon in the Richmond 400. Car number 90, Richard Brooks, is on pit road. He had made his way through the field all the way to 2nd place. There you see the leader, number 11, Waltrip in front. And Richard Brooks, who had made a tremendous try, now has been sitting on pit road for 2 or 3 laps and has fallen out of the top lead lap competitors. We have 5 drivers in the lead lap.
Junior Johnson has to be really proud right now. He's got 2 cars in the race and they're running 1-2, and they're really the class of the field right now.
98 and 44 going at it. On the outside, Joe Ruttman is trying to move around. 98 and 44 hanging tight. There is Joe Ruttman on the outside. and he is on the move. He is able to get around the number 44, and here comes Ricky Rudd another time in the 15. Ricky Rudd is picking up a spot. He'll go to 4th right here. Terry Labonte falls to 5th. Terry Labonte falling back. It is now Ruttman into 3rd. Rudd into 4th, and Terry Labonte maintaining the 5th spot. Earnhardt 6th. We have 5 cars in the lead lap. Laps complete. Stand at 245. Here's Benny Parsons.
Ken, I talked to the Goodyear representative, Wayne Torrance, this morning, and he told me that these competitors, this 32-car field, had purchased almost 800 tires to run this race. That's almost 7 sets per team. The reason that they buy so many tires is that they buy them, they measure them, and they try to put the proper sizes together. We've been talking about stagger all afternoon, and that's what we're talking about, is the size of the tire. So they try to put these tires together in sets to come up with the stagger or the size that they want. The problem is, when they go with their best thoughts and their best shot, the tires get hot and they blow up like a balloon. The problem is they don't blow up consistently. They don't grow consistently. So therefore, they end up with the wrong stagger in 10 or 15 laps.
Another thing that they do with these tires, Benny, is they use them for bumpers. Now, these things came off Richard Petty's car, and I can tell you, somebody in a blue and white car or blue and yellow car knows that the king came knocking.
Some of the large crowd gathered here in Richmond watching the action, and here it comes. Waltrip stays out in front. Just absolutely amazing the power that car has developed as Darrell Waltrip stays first. Here he is lapping J.D. McDuffie. Good battle developing for second place. Neil Bonnet maintaining second. There you see him in the number 12 car with the 98 there. And here comes Ricky Rudd right back on the inside. Rudd trying to get underneath Ruttman going into turn 1.
Leonard, now, I'm going to talk to Leonard Woods just for a second. It looks like the Fords are doing quite well on the short tracks this year. You see Ricky Rudd right now moving up on Joe Ruttman. He's been a strong running car all day.
Thank you, Buddy Baker. Let's go to the STP Pit Communications Center. Here's Dave Despain.
One race is already over here today. The 7-Eleven mileage leader competition has been won by Darrell Waltrip. He's already led 120 miles in this competition. There's a $3,000 7-Eleven prize to the man who leads the most miles. Waltrip has already locked that one up. Ricky Rudd led a lap. Neil Bonnet led a lap, both under caution. Every lap under green has been led by Mr. Waltrip.
Darrell Waltrip maintaining a lead. Has been able to command this race from the very beginning. The Story is back in the second position. There's Richard Petty on pit road. Richard Petty having problems, and he is now on pit road. The battle developing throughout the afternoon has been Neil Bonnet's Story. Here's Richard Petty's pit crew looking a little haggard as they try to get him back in. Waltrip stays in front. Lapping cars at will, handily here. Getting around Trevor Boyce right now. Second, third, fourth, right there. Neil Bonnet has come to second. The team cars are first and second. And then that third spot, Ruttman. Fourth spot, number 15. Rudd, and the fifth spot in the lead lap is number 44, Terry Labonte. Back in 6th is Earnhardt, 7th is Elliott, 8th is Richmond. So, as matters stand, it could be a team sweep for Warner Hodgson and Junior Johnson today. We'll stand by and see. It's running down here in the Richmond 400, and you're watching that battle for second spot. 3 cars contesting. Neil Bonnet is there right behind him. Joe Ruttman having just a dandy day in third, and Ricky Rudd on the comeback trail in fourth. Going fifth is Terry Labonte. We have 5 cars in the lead lap as we get down toward decision time. With a 6th spot, Dale Earnhardt, 7th spot, Elliott, 8th is Richmond, 9th, Bodine, 10th is Bouchard, 11th is Harry Gant, 12th is Lake Speed, another lap back in 13, Dave Marcus, 14th is Cale Yarborough, and 15th is Lenny Pond. Well, Baker, Buddy Baker, how do you feel about it? This team car, number 12, going up into second spot, seems to be as stout as anything out there, as stout as his teammate, Darrell Waltrip.
Well, he is awful strong, but I will tell you this. I talked to Joe Rubman before the race, and he says he's ready. The car's handling good. He's running good now, and Ricky Rudd's still there. This thing isn't over yet. Darrell had a lot of clear track there to open up a lead, but if they get another caution, it could be anybody.
Now look at this. Here comes Rudd down the inside in the 15. He's going for a spot. Ricky Rudd on the inside is pulling up and going for third position. They're wheel to wheel down into turn 3. It's Ricky Rudd and the Bud Moore Ford on the inside, and up on the outside, the Benfield car, number 98. There's number 12, still holding on to the second position, and then their third place cars. There's the interval, and now you see Rudd attacking out of turn number 3, and Ricky Rudd, deliberately setting that car on the bottom of the track, picks up another spot. Rudd moves up into third. Ruttman drops back to fourth. What a dandy race for Ricky Rudd today. Set on the pole for this race a year ago. Here he is drawing away, and it looks like the handle has gone away on Joe Ruttman's number 98. He could be fair game for Terry Labonte very shortly out there. Laps continue to dwindle down in the latter half of the race. If you're just joining us, the man who's set on the pole continues to dominate as we come around to complete 268 laps. Earlier, we asked Neil Bonnet, do you take it easy or do you go flat out at Richmond?
My job is to make that car uncomfortable. I'm not supposed to ride around out there comfortable. If I'm comfortable, I'm going too slow. So what I have to do is take a very good race car and get it on the ragged edge and use it all day.
Well, he's about half a lap down to the sister car as the Warner Hodgson Neil Bonnet team. There you see Neil Bonnet going out of turn number 2. And you see some of the damage on those other cars. There's the 17 car, Clark Dwyer, all beat up in the nose.
Ken, I've noticed something. Ricky Rudd is he's really closing the gap in between he and Neil Bonnet right now. So anytime I see Dave Marcus that close to somebody going in the corner, I kind of hold my ears.
Consider this, back in 1969, only 9 cars finished this Richmond 400. Today, officially, only 2 cars have fallen out, David Pearson and Bobby Allison. That's amazing.
Well, it is amazing. You would think that the attrition rate would be much higher, especially with the cramming and bamming that's going on. But these cars are well built, and it takes a lot to knock them out.
Second place car, Neil Bonnet. Leader, lapping Lake Speed in the number 1 car. Lake Speed getting a little high in that Haas Ellington car, and he just threads the needle as he moves around out there.
You saw something right there. Darrell just waved to Lake Speed and thanked him for giving him a little bit of room. Everything's going for the lead car. Slower cars are looking for him. They give him room. Now, when they're racing for position, they give nothing.
Number 33, you're back with the 11th place car, closing in on Ron Bouchard. Bouchard is in 10th. That is the battle for 10th place. You're right there with the Skull Bandits, the Hal Needham car, right in front of him. That is the battle. 47 and 33. The 47 car just barely in front. And right in front of him in 9th place is Jeff Bodine. Bodine is in 9th, and the car directly in front of our camera car remains the Bouchard car in 10th, and then Gamp runs in 11th. Now leader, Waltrip again. Boy, it's been his all day. Has better than a 10-second lead right now on this half-mile track. Before a gorgeous crowd on a sparkling day, a sensational race for Darrell Waltrip. In second place, it's beginning to get a little heavy. Going down in turn number 1, Ricky Rudd is closing up again. Battle for second place is beginning to develop. There's your leader. That's Waltrip up in front. But his teammate is beginning to have a few Ford problems out there. The battle is up for the second spot. It is car number 12 at 15, plunging along through this race in the 2/3 distance. And there you see the number 12 of Neil Bonnet and the number 15 of Ricky Rudd in third. And they are really having at it. Rudd is closed in. He's begun to make some moves as if he would like to go by. Main straightaway. First turn. 277 laps complete this time by of the 400. And still, Neil Bonnet for that second spot, hanging right on Ricky Rudd. And notice how high Neil Bonnet is using that racetrack now.
Well, he's using every available way to keep that car going fast so it'll come off the corner as straight as it can, and it may just take a higher groove, but Ricky Rudd is really coming off of the corner right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see them racing for that position pretty quick.
There's Ron Bouchard in the 47. Now remember, he's in 10th spot. Directly in front of him is Bodine in the 9th position. And directly behind him is Gant running in the 11th position. We asked Ron Bouchard, how much different is it driving a Grand National from a modified car on these short tracks?
A modified race car is 2,600 pounds and, you know, about the same engine as you run in a Grand National. And, you know, the tires are a lot bigger and the cars really handle a lot better in the turn and can go a lot quicker through a corner. So it's quite a transition to get used to a Grand National race car versus a modified on the shorter tracks.
Ron Bouchard driving that number 47 back there in the 10th spot with his hands full. Bodine right in front of him, and right behind him comes the Skull Bandit Harry Gant. There's Gant again, the 11th place car, and those three locked up in their own war. After 1 hour in Miami at the Grand Prix there, Brian Redmond's Jaguar is leading, and Klaus Ludwig with the Ford Mustang is in second. Don and Bill Whittington in the march. The Whittington brothers are running third. Walter Boren in a Corvette won the GTO race earlier today. You'll see the stories of that race in Miami on Motor Week Illustrated next Saturday, 5:35 with Dave Despain here on the Superstation. Number 11, Waltrip is your leader. Commanding, orchestrating, conducting the lead. Darrell Waltrip at first. But the story is a tremendous battle for second between Neil Bonnet, Ricky Rudd, and Joe Ruttman. We're back and we are under caution. Another time. Mark that down as the 6th caution period of the day. And let's take a look at what happened up in turn number 3 to bring out this caution. It was the car number 4 of Lenny Pond that went sailing down to the corner and had trouble, got up in the wall. There you see him going along the outside, spinning and crashing in the wall. A man who was finished in this race in second place twice. Lenny Pond, the Jim Testa car, number 4. Pond, of course, second the year that Benny Parsons won the event back in 1978. So Lenny Pond has brought out the 6th caution of the day. Twice a runner-up. Was runner-up in 1975 to Richard Petty. And he won the 78 Talladega 500, his only Winston Cup victory. Having problems here. Well, we've got to change of position out in some of the back markers, and we'll give those to you in a moment. The front 5, all of that lead lap, you're inside Harry Gant, Skull Bandit another time.
Ken, one
shouldn't be too far away for restart, buddy.
One good thing that happened with Lenny, he did hit the wall, but the car is still going.
Look at that crowd. Just a marvelous shot from inside all around this track, with the exception of the backstretch, just loaded with folks enjoying this lovely day in Virginia. A little on the crisp side. Football weather.
And very good racing weather.
And drop kicking is the order of the day out here. You can see from those cars, they're all beaten up. They are going to go green this time by. Pace car has the light off. A quick word from the STP Pit Communications Center. Here's Dave Despain.
Interesting to note how Darrell Waltrip's strategy has worked in this race. Waltrip has led the whole distance. He's the only guy who's been able to consistently run at the speed at which he started the race. Let's see if he can still do it as we go back to green.
And there you see the Warner Hodgson Junior Johnson cars, 1 and 2. Remember, only once has it happened back in the early years, the dark ages, when the Chrysler cars finished up in first and second. And here's Darrell Waltrip first, Neil Bonnet in second. Back in 1955, the Flock brothers, Tim and Bonnie, pulled it off with the Chryslers. And incidentally, the old-timers remember that Junior Johnson drove an Oldsmobile that day, and he finished 5th. Now he has one half of this team, which is running up in the front spots. Look at Bonnet go for the lead. They may be team cars, but this is not formula driving. This is serious business out here between these two, both itching for the victory. No contract here where one driver has to finish in second place. You think, oh, here comes Bonnet, taking a little bite out of the back end there. Thank you, just a small crunch.
Well, that goes
you think these guys like each other?
I think so, but still, he's nipping on him a little bit. I think Neil right now may have an awful good set of tires because he's putting the heat on.
He certainly is. He's looking for a shot to take for first place. Going third right now is Ricky Rudd. Fourth is Terry Labonte. And Rudman has fallen a lap back. Third is Rudd. Fourth, Labonte. We have 4 cars now in the lead lap. And there's the story right up in front. Look at this team scramble. Winner of 57 races in front and twice national champion. It is car number 11. Darrell Waltrip in first. Here comes Neil Bonnet. Back again. Looking for his 14th win. Down the main straightaway. Going into turn 1. Both. What about it? This is strictly individual type stuff out here, isn't it?
Well, it is that now because there's no reason for Darrell to give him the credits he did a while ago and let him by. But I really believe Bonnet's the faster of the 2 cars right now. He's going to make a move pretty quick.
A dazzling display by the Junior Johnson Warner Hodgson team as they dominate this event. There is number 11, Waltrip in first. It looks like he might have gotten into that first turn a little hard, but he came out about 2-car length advantage.
Well, the one thing that Neil has to watch right now is not to get the tires too hot. He's putting a lot of pressure on him, and he's driving into the corner extra hard, and he's starting to wash out a little bit. He's going to have to run like Darrell's running and then take advantage of a break.
Well, talk about persistency. Waltrip has just hung it out on the nose all day, and Bonnet's been playing catch-up, and now we're getting down to it. The laps dwindling. They're moving into the 296 lap category right here with 104 laps remaining. Well, that would be something if we saw a team finish. You were part of a team finish at Daytona with Richard Petty years ago. Richard won, you came in second. That was a Dodge day, wasn't it?
Well, it'd been better if it'd been the other way around, but it is a good feeling when you field 2 cars and you run 1-2. You can't do any better than that. And we have a caution almost a wreck on the front straightaway. Kyle Petty just got into the Soul Brother there.
That was Phil Parsons, number 66. They got a little sideways, able to gather it up. The story still remains right here as they battle down into the straightaway, 11 and 12. Another time to turn 1. Well, there you see Lenny Pond is back out, too. They're about to put a lap on Lenny Pond with that scrape up in the corner.
Well, right now,
it's just in front of those cars as they work their way down the back straightaway.
I'm stepping all over you again. But...
Second place, car number 15, Ricky Rudd. Third place, and then the 4th place car is Terry Labonte at 44. The 27 car, Tim Richmond, is 7th. Leaders coming by, and again, it's Neil Bonnet and Waltrip, second and first respectively. We'll be back with more of the Richmond 400 live on WTBS after these messages. An incredible story being written as we watch it live here on WTBS from the Richmond Fairgrounds, race number 2 of the $10 million series, and it is a team effort right now for the first position. Darrell Waltrip is there, twice winner of the event. Neil Bonnet, who's never won this Richmond 400, lies in second spot right on his rear bumper as they put a lap on the J.D. McDuffie car and the Greg Sachs car in the main straightaway. They are running about 5 seconds in front of the third place car. Let's go to Benny Parsons.
And I'm down in the pits with Junior Johnson. The owner of both of these cars is running 1-2. Junior, your cars seem to be dominating the race. Has either driver got any special instructions?
No, they haven't. I haven't talked to Darrell. Basically just been talking to Neil, and they both racing for the lead, and they'll race the way they usually race. I'm not going to tell one of them to do nothing that I wouldn't tell I hope one of them wins the race.
So, Ken, Neil Bonnet has Junior Johnson's full permission to win this race.
Here they are about to go at it side by side. Warner Hodgson's cars, prepared by Junior Johnson, come out of turn number 2. Up on the outside comes Neil Bonnet. Down bottom side, it is Darrell Waltrip. Here they are, wheel to wheel, and the crowd is standing all around the speedway. Into turn one.
Neil Bonnet's changed his racing groove to the high side now, and I tell you what, it won't be but a second. Lee overhauls Darrell. He's really getting in the corner a lot better, as you see right there.
What a tremendous battle for the lead. Waltrip down low, Neil Bonnet up high. Rudd stays third, Labonte fourth. Into turn one, Waltrip comes back. Back straightaway, out of two.
That's got, I don't care how calm Junior Johnson sounds, that's got to be Nerve City right there for him.
On the outside. Moving up, we got a smoker down at turn number one, an engine letting go.
Ron Bouchard.
Bouchard is blowing an engine, and as they race the line and yellow comes out, Ron Bouchard unhinges the engine on number 47. What a bad break for the BB car, which had been doing so well today.
Well, he was running a great race, but the thing of it was that Neil Bonnet had just made his pass on Darrell, and now they're going to make another pit stop, and that could change the whole thing around. So we'll just have to see who gets a good set of tires, a good stagger, and everything for this run for the checkered flag.
All right, let's watch from our camera at the end of pit road as those two leaders both pull in 11 and 12 and see who comes out first. As they came in, Neil Bonnet was leading. There's Tim Richmond coming in. He's running 8th right now. Ron Bouchard was running 11 when things went bad in the engine department. Neil Bonnet's car going around for 4 tires, and I believe that's the same situation on car number 11, Waltrip, as well. There you see Junior Johnson standing just over the wall.
Well, the reason
the race is on. Here comes quickly number 27, Richmond, hurrying back out. Bonnet comes out. But first out was number 11. Waltrip stays in that pit battle in first. 11 came out in front of number 12. And there you see him as they gather up with the pace car another time. The team perennial favorite gets used too many times, but the Winston Cup stars go short tracking. 2 names stand out. Next time by in the Richmond 400. As 2 of the greats of short track racing. Darrell Waltrip and Neil Bonnet continue their own vendetta up in front for the same team. Now you're with Harry Gann. He's in 9th place. What a comeback he has made after terrible adversity at the start. They gather up. Harry Gann to the back straightaway. Harry, can you hear me? We're not set up to talk with Harry right now. He has really had his arms full all afternoon. Been on the line with his crew chief, Travis Carter, with the problems the car had early with the transmission, but he's worked his way back up, and he now lies 9th. Here comes the restart. Waltrip pulls away down into turn 1, using leg speed to get a little room. Slow cars, or lap cars, more properly put, on the bottom of the track. And those leaders all bunched up on the outside. You see the yellow and blue car, Ricky Rudd, lurking back there in the 3rd position as they come around turn 3. And the blue car, number 44, that's Terry Lamar, hurtling down past the pit area, going into turns 1 and 2, up in front. It's this strange, unique story, buddy, with Waltrip first and Bonnet still second.
Well, both cars are running about the same right now. We'll just have to see if Ricky Rudd makes it a threesome near the end here.
Ricky Rudd in that Ford, rather lonely Ford up there in that lead lap now, trying to clip him down as they come down the back straightaway. Number 33, Harry Gann, made a quick run onto pit road and comes back out another time. You see he's got empty track in front of him. He's got some running to do. You can see just how hard that track is on those drivers. They take a lot of abuse of this tough old half mile. Here he is back in the main straightaway. Down into turn number 1. About 110, and he eases off into this almost flat first and second corner. Meanwhile, up in front, Bonnet stays there and waits on Waltrip, the leader. Here's the report from Jerry Garrett.
Ron Bouchard, one of the front row starters. Ron, what happened that caused you to go out of the race? Well, it looks like it might have broke a rod in the motor or a crankshaft. This stuff's broken. It stopped dead. How's the condition of the track out there right now? The condition of the track? Well, right now the racetrack is real slick, and the lane has moved all the way up to the fence, and that's where most of the cars are running right now. It keeps them busy trying to figure out that groove, as we've said before, Ken.
Let's remember that the 5th club is now Bill Elliott at number 9 with 6 Tim Richmond, 7th Earnhardt, and 8 Joe Rutland. Check down those leaders. And there you see the number 27 car. That's Tim Richmond in the 6th position. With him is Dale Earnhardt. They're swapping that position. Earnhardt has just picked up the 6th spot. And here comes the move. They're side by side. The Junior Johnson twins, 11 and 12, going into turn number 1. On the inside is Waltrip, and Bonnet continues to like to run the outside.
Well, he's getting a good bite off the corner there, and he's moving right on by Darrell. I don't know, this certainly isn't strategy. Here comes Darrell back under the inside, but I believe Neil's car is a little quicker now.
This tremendous congregation back on its feet as down the main straightaway. Car number 12 goes in front, Neil Bonnet. This could put him on the winner's circle if he could win today. That's worth a whole lot of money if you're running all 30 races this year.
Well, I'm sure right now the win is more important than anything to Neil, because Darrell, as they went into the year, everybody said Neil was a better big track driver and not that good on the shorter tracks, but he's certainly showing right now that he is really a short track chauffeur.
We've got a great battle for 6th position, just a tremendous battle for 6th spot in the back straightaway. There you see 27 Tim Richmond, and again, the number 3 of Earnhardt. He's pulled alongside him twice, but hasn't been able to get by. Richmond in the 27, and Earnhardt in the number 3, fighting for 6th. Let's go to Benny Parsons.
Yes, I'm down in the pits, and I talked to Dale Lindman, the crew chief on Terry Labonte's car. And I said, Dale, how's it going? Do you have a chance at the end of the race? He said, I'm out of new tires. Ken, we talked just a moment ago. They brought 800 tires here. These teams that are trying to win the race don't have any more new ones left.
Back to the car as they swap those front positions. It's just remarkable how all of a sudden Neil Bonnet is floating away from the car that looked like the fastest thing here. Here's Harry Gantz, number 33, still another time, going down into the corner, closing up and trying to move around the Trevor Boyd's car, number 48. That car is running several laps back. Remember that Gant is now listed 10th overall in the race. He made a quick pit stop here, came back on the track as he works his way into the back straightaway. He takes a bite, another bite, and a third bite to move through turn 2.
Well, you see him fighting the wheel a little bit. When they're handling just right, coming off the corner, you don't have to put that much effort into it. He may still be having some problem.
Not a good day for Harry Gant, but A for effort. That does not get you first place, and that's the only thing they remember. This tremendous crowd watching car number 12. Neil Bonnet now lead with number 11. Darrell Waltrip in the 2nd spot. 3rd spot is number 15. Ricky Rudd, 4th Labonte, 4 cars in the lead lap. I believe the most cars to ever be in the lead lap at the finish was 5. 4 were in the lead lap a year ago.
I will say this about Neil Bonnet. He is running a very high line through 3 and 4. Oh, we have a wreck on the back. Trevor Boyce has just hit the wall.
Coming out of 2, and there's the leader just squeaking by. Trevor Boyce really walloping the wall in the James Hilton car. 8th caution of the day. This comes at lap 333. Ooh, he really got snarled. Trevor Boyce from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The nose savagely beaten up on car number 48. Apparently, he tangled bumpers with Dean Combs coming off the 2nd corner, and there's the result. Car Car number 48, Trevor Boyce with his own trash smasher out here now. Boy, did he take a wallop.
He did that. Now he's
Car number 9, Elliott, rides in 5th. There you see the leaders on pit road another time. They're calling in Cale Yarborough. He's running 13th. The front end all beaten up, and the crews go to work on the back straightaway. Buddy?
If you notice, Neil Bonnet had everything going his way, so he did not elect to stop and take on new tires. But Darrell feels that he needs to make some adjustments, so he changed his left side tires now. So he must not have had a good set of tires on at that time.
Here comes Waltrip back on the track, and he'll have some making up to do. Now you're with Harry Gant coming by, and here comes the other team car on pit road. The leader is now pitting. Car number 12 is pulling down on pit road, and Neil Bonnet is in. Let's see if we can get a word from Harry Gant right now. Harry, can you hear me? Ken Squire.
Yeah, I can hear you, Ken. You're breaking up awful bad, but I can hear you.
Okay. Hard day for you out there today, sir.
You're breaking up real bad. What'd you say?
It seems like it's been a hard day for you, Harry. Car number 33.
Yeah, the day before. I've been trying to hold this thing in gear most of the day. It's, the car's not handling real well, but this gear shift been like it is, making it real bad, too.
Well, you made a nice comeback. They now show you 10th overall in the race, Harry.
Who's running ninth?
We're up in 9th, and then you fell. You were back to 11th. Now and one lap away from a green flag. Here's a report from Benny Parsons.
Again, I'm down at Neil Bonnet's pit, and car 12, NASCAR made them pit because the right headlight door was missing. The rule is that if the headlight door is missing, that you're getting an advantage of fresh air going inside the car. Junior Johnson says that Neil had an accident and knocked the headlight door out, which that's not illegal. So there's some controversy down here as to whether or not he was supposed to pit or not supposed to pit.
Now he has pitted and he has come back on the track, and he will now lie in 4th position on this restart after the 8th caution of the day. Ricky Rudd will be running in 1st. There you see the car that's running in 4th is Neil Bonnet as they come down out of the corner. It is Darrell Waltrip in 2nd, Terry Labonte in 3rd, Neil Bonnet in 4th, and they are reporting that Bill Elliott is back in the lead lap. That is incorrect. There are 4 cars in the lead lap. He is just on the tail end of the lead lap. There's number 44, Terry Labonte, running in the 3rd position. Bill Elliott is sandwiched right up in front. He was trying to get a lap back. There you see number 9, Elliott. If he can get around 15, he will be in the lead lap. Briefly, as they came down to the start, he had a moment at it. Here's number 15, Ricky Rudd in front. Boy, if he could pull this off, what a sensational story it would be. Laps complete. 341 laps down. 341 complete. Going into turn 3. Down to the inside, number 11, Waltrip. Handling on the bottom of the track, the 15, the Ford Thunderbird buddy, up on the high side.
Well, right now, Darrell's got it his own way. If he can get by Ricky Rudd, it'll be a while before Neil Bonnet gets through all the traffic that he's in right now. So we got to, of course, I tell you, Ricky's running awful well. He may not get by him.
It's a half-mile sprint to the finish coming up. On the outside, Rudd still is able to handle Waltrip, but he's coming along.
Well, now Darrell just showed something right there. He just moved right up on the inside of Rudd. I think he just got a lot of muscle down the straightaway. You watch him close the gap in here.
Meanwhile, here's Rudd trying again on the outside to stay in the lead. Terry Labonte lies 3rd. There is Ricky Rudd. 27 years old out of Chesapeake, Virginia, going side to side with Waltrip. Out of 2. Waltrip has the advantage for a moment, but as they come into the back straightaway, they're dead even another time. Waltrip back in front at 3. Third place car is now number 44, Labonte. And Waltrip cleanly gets under, but Rudd just won't give up on the outside. Now, Waltrip has enough room to come all the way across the top. 1st and 2nd place, down to the main straightaway. turn number 1, and looking like he's trying to get a lap back. Bill Elliott's still in there, buddy.
Well, Bill Elliott's running awfully well, but right now Waltrip's beginning to move away, and I guarantee you, oh no, Neil Bonnet's got a flat tire on the back straightaway. He'll have to come in.
Car number 12 is slowing down, and he's pulling out of pit road. What a bad break for Bonnet. Benny Parsons was saying before the race, this is really a gambler's race. It's how the dice shake out for you, and a tire problem. A lot of this loose material down to the inside of the track gets kicked out, and there you see number 12 in with a tire problem.
It's all over now. Needs a lap down to Darrell and Ricky Rudd and those guys, and the cars are running so evenly, I don't believe he'll ever make it up.
3 cars now remain in the lead lap. Waltrip, Rudd, Labonte, as Bonnet comes back to speed. Now this happened very close to the 350 mark. That happened in lap 346. They are now in 348.
But keep this in mind, Ken. What happened to him can happen to anybody.
Including this man, number 11, Waldrop, who stays up in front. Ricky Rudd still stays second, looking for his third Winston Cup win. Victorious last year at Riverside and Martinsville. There he is at number 15. He was on the pole for this race. He took 3 poles in a row a year ago. Best finish in this race, he was second back in 1981 to this man, Darrell Waltrip. They're running 1 and 2 just as they did in 1981. There's that Trevor Boyce car still going on. There's a miracle of miracles. 48 after that hard hit in turn 2 is able to continue. In 4th place, a lap down is Bill Elliott. Bill Elliott is in 4th. And the 5th spot now would go to number 3, Dale Earnhardt. A quick report from Neil Bonnet's pits.
Ken, as you mentioned, Neil Bonnet just made an unscheduled stop. Here's the culprit. He ran over something, punctured the right front tire, had to come in the pit.
Well, that's it. It's that little minute hole made all the difference in Neil Bonnet's hopes today. 27 and 3 back at it another time. That is Dale Earnhardt, Chevrolet number 3, and Tim Richmond continuing their own war further back in the field. Richmond currently running 7th overall. Waltrip. And here is Harry Gant. Closing in on number 98. And in 10th position, the 9th position car is Joe Ruttman, right in front of him. You're in the battle for 9th spot. That is Joe Ruttman just in front of him. And with Neil Bonnet's tire problem, that may be the battle for 8th. The D-Dust that they're going to show now is that when Bonnet came in, they update the leaderboard. Joe Ruttman moved to 8th, and Gant moved to 9th. And here's Harry Gant trying the inside another time.
If you saw Harry Gant just then, you saw him reach over and make sure it was still in gear. That's still bothering him. I don't think it's jumping out in every corner like it was, but he puts his hand over here just to make sure going into the corner it hadn't eased out of gear on him.
Down the main straightaway. Harry Gant trying to find just a little more running room to come down the inside. Neil Bonnet back on the track being shown, and now he is shown in 8th, which would move that Ruttman-Gant battle back to a battle for 9th place. Latest word from scoring is that after his pit stop and came back, as he puts a lap on Morgan Shepherd, that Neil Bonnet in this car number 12 is running 8th overall. 3 and 27 are really having a wonderful time late in the going today. 357 laps are complete. There's your battle. There on the inside is car number 3. That is the Dale Earnhardt car, and right with him in a battle is for 5th position overall, Tim Richmond. Number 90, the Judy Donlevy car is back out. Remember, he was in for some time. Jeff Bodine, number 5. He's had an awful off again, on again, day. And there's number 44, Terry Labonte, directly in front of him, the car that is running third overall in the race. And Bodine, just as quick as he is, but Bodine's had some problems early. Trying to get himself gathered back up here this afternoon. Joe Ruttman's number 98 being challenged by here again. Let's go to the STP Pit Communications Center.
Ken, there's been a lot of talk in NASCAR of late about the changing of the guard, the old superstars who established this sport, giving way to the new breed, and look who's here today. It is the new breed. Waltrip, Bonnet, who won his first race on this racetrack, has now dropped back, but he was right in here for a long time. Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte, Bill Elliott, these are the new stars of the future. Where are the old guard today? Well, Cale Yarborough, who dominated at Daytona, has many laps in arrears. Richard Petty, who has won 13 races here at Richmond, had a couple of flat tires, got hit in the back by Dave Marcus. He's out of the race. David Pearson won 6 times on this racetrack, 5 times back when it was dirt. The old Silver Fox is out of the race. The Grand National champion, Bobby Allison, second race in a row, he blew an engine. You can't help but wonder if it's the championship jinx, a very slow season start for Bobby Allison as he blows an engine for the second week in a row. We're coming down to a conclusion here at Richmond. We'll see which of the old young guard is going to win at the Richmond 400.
At lap 369, we've experienced our 9th caution of the day when car number 17, straggling down the main straightaway, finally came to a halt. Clark Dwyer out of Colorado Springs, Colorado in turn 1. There's a wrecker picking him up as you watch the pictures live from the Richmond Fairgrounds. And right now, the third place car is electing to pit. Number 44, Terry Labonte has come in. Buddy?
I see Neil Bonnet's back in again. He's really having a time with his tires right now, but you know, that little tiny hole that he had in there, that could be one pebble on the racetrack, and that knocked him right out of contention.
Well, earlier today, that's what everyone was talking about, was on this particular track. It's those little pebbles that turn into major disasters, and it's happened time and time again that we get a flat tire among the leaders late in the going and change the ball game around.
Well, there was a very bad thing happened to Ricky Rudd just then. He was pinned in, he had to put the car in reverse and back in the car behind him, and he couldn't get out. Now he's back up to speed.
Here's Harry Gant coming back out on the track as he gets around Cale Yarborough. Gant in car number 33, continuing that fight for 9th spot. Let's go to Benny Parsons on pit road.
Ken, I mentioned just a moment ago that Terry Labonte was out of new tires, that he had used all of his new ones. Well, I just noticed he was putting 4 new ones on. I went down and I asked Dale Inman, where did the tires come from? He said, I borrowed them from Rusty Wallace, 88. Rusty had some problems. He's a few laps down. He's not competitive. He's putting on used tires. He's loaning his new ones to Dale Inman and Terry Labonte, so they got a shot to win the race here in the last 40 laps.
Darrell Waltrip has led 183 miles of this approximate 200-mile race today. Ricky Rudd has led 8, Neil Bonnet at 8, and Terry Labonte had a lap to his credit today. But it has been all Waltrip from the very beginning. Bonnet took it away from him briefly. Then he had a flat tire. We have 3 cars running in the lead lap with Waltrip first, Rudd in second, Terry Labonte third. 1 lap back in 4th position now is Dale Earnhardt with Neil Bonnet in 5th. And the 6th place car is Bill Elliott with unofficially Tim Richmond showing in 7th, 8th Bodine, 9th Ruttman, 10th Gant, and they're a lap away from getting the green flag. A busy day. Yeah, we might go further back for just a second, buddy. The 11th position overall as we get ready to go out here would be Lake Speed. And the 12th position is Dave Marcus. He's fighting his way up through. 13th is Cale Yarborough. And the 14th spot is Morgan Shepherd with 15th Richard Petty. And the 16th place overall is Rusty Wallace, while 17th is the rookie Phil Parsons.
Well, you know, when I see that everybody got out of the way, and Ricky Rudd now on the back bumper of Darrell Waltrip, I think this is going to have a lot. And also the 44 car is now in the 3rd place on the outside. Now, if they can get a jump on Earnhardt, they'll have a good run to the end.
371 of 400 laps complete. It is a sprint Saturday night special style to the finish. And we have the Ford, number 15, the blue and yellow car, pulling up on the Chevrolet number 11. Ricky Rudd in 2nd spot as he was in 1981. Can he make it one better?
Well, now Ricky can smell the roses. It's showtime now. He's got to go, and he's doing quite a good job of playing there.
Well, for a driver who for some 1,200 feet was going side over side and end over end just a couple of Sundays ago, what a comeback. Here he is down there fighting with Darrell Waltrip at turn 3. Laps trickling away down to the finish. Little wiggle by the leader as he came out of 4 and collects it. And coming up to the outside, I'll tell you, this Virginia crowd, if this Virginia driver can beat Tennessee's Waltrip, is going to go bonkers.
Something's happened to Waltrip. He's not getting the side bite in the corners he was getting. Rudd's running up on him really fast now.
Terry Labonte is the car number 44, lies third overall, and he is running about 5 car lengths back from these 2 leaders.
I look for Ricky Rudd to pass Darrell right now. He's hit him 2 or 3 times to let him know he's back there and in a hurry to get to the front. So we'll just have to wait and see. But Waltrip's going extra slow going into the middle part of the corner.
You can see him fight the wheel as they come down to the main straightaway. Here they are, and there's that 17 car that broke down and brought out the caution just coming back on the track. Clark Dwyer out of Colorado Springs. Meanwhile, back straightaway. There's the opening on the inside. Rudd elects not to use it. This is the battle for first place, and the laps tell the story. Right now, in this event, there are 377 complete.
Darrell Waltrip is cutting down on the inside of the racetrack. If Ricky plans to get by him, he's going to have to change his groove just a little bit to get an outside shot at him like Neil did, because Darrell's holding him awful tight.
Let's get a word from Dave Despain of the STP Pit Communication Center.
Ken, we've talked all day about the combination. Darrell Waltrip has kept his combination working low on the racetrack. He's the only driver who's been able to run down there consistently all day long. Now what's happened? Ricky Rudd has got enough top combination, and they're side by side. Who's got the best combination? It'll be decided in the last 25 laps.
Out of turn number 4. Rudd working the high side. Waltrip on the inside. Ricky Rudd willing to stick it out there. Crowd standing, cheering as the battle goes into turn number 2. Here they are in the back straightaway. It's the Ford on the outside, the Chevrolet on the inside. Into turn number 3, wheel to wheel. Ricky Rudd is out there in the Bud Moore car. The Warner Hodgson Junior Johnson car on the inside. Still wheel to wheel. Going around the long way, Ricky Rudd is trying to pull it out. Using up tires, using up time, using up laps. Back straightaway, Rudd pulls in front. Ricky Rudd goes in front. Laps down. Getting down to a finish. Across the line, a tremendous cheer from the sellout house. Back comes Waltrip on the inside. He's not done. Darrell Waltrip sticks it back in there another time.
Now, if Ricky will just go back to Darrell Waltrip's groove right now, Darrell will never get by him.
381 complete. In the main straightaway, down they come. A lot of these wrecked machines that continue to fly. Let him have the inside. Letting Waltrip back on that inside, the short way around the track, but the fast way continues for Ricky Rudd to be on the high side.
Well, it is. He's getting off a good forward bite off the corner, but if he'll run Darrell's groove right now, I believe he's got a little more stuff off the corner than Darrell's showing.
Not very often you see it come down this close, this deep in one of these races, buddy.
Well, I don't know what's happened, but Ricky Rudd is really pulling away right now, and it's, you know, he just may have been saving himself. He was injured going into this event, and he may have been saving himself for the sprint.
Well, a man whose life was in the very balance just 2 Sundays ago. 20 feet in the air, side over side and end over end. At the Daytona Speedway at better than 190 miles per hour. Is making an incredible comeback here at Richmond live on Superstation WTBS today.
He may be in trouble. I just saw Darrell Waltrip watching this groove, and he moved to a different groove, and he actually pulled back up on Ricky fast down the backstretch. So.
There he is down the inside. Waltrip making a move to take the lead back. Rudd fights him off another time. Still the outside works for Ricky Rudd. No one is sitting down. Everyone is standing. It's another typical Grand National finish at Richmond, Virginia this afternoon in this $243,000 battle. Down the inside, here comes Waltrip trying to move through. does it make it?
Oh, man, this spectating's harder on me than racing. I tell you, you want to tell him that it looks like he's running a little bit faster. If he would just go a little bit lower in 1 and 2, I think he would pull away from Darrell a little bit more.
We won't be cutting away as long as this battle stays like this right to the finish. On the outside, the 15. It is still Ricky Rudd there. Only once has the Richmond 400 been determined by a last lap pass. That year, 1957. Over a quarter century ago, the principals then were Glenn Wood and Curtis Turner. Turner led going into the final lap, but a tire blew and Wood slipped by for that victory. Well, there's no chance for a draft here, but they could be just as exciting as we get down to the finish, buddy.
Well, they can, because Darrell has showed you all day. He can run low, and if Ricky would happen to go in the last corner a little bit hard and Darrell got under him, it would be right to the wire.
No way to draft on a track of this size, but you can 10 laps to go. But you can sure run a man. You can pull up behind. You can drop kick him. But the story here, look at this. 10-car length advantage for Rudd. He stretched his lead, but he's into lap traffic now. This could hurt him.
Well, it can. If he gets the right brakes in traffic, if everybody's looking for the lead car, it may work to his advantage right now. I noticed that Ricky's opened up a little more of a lead than he has.
Bud Moore must be ecstatic.
And proud. He's got to be. Ricky Rudd is showing you why he won last year, and Bud Moore people were really concerned about Rudd's condition, and I don't think there's any worry anymore for him because he is driving a great race.
Terry Labonte lies third. Fourth, Bill Elliott, a lap back. Fifth is Bonnet. Sixth is Earnhardt. Seventh is Richmond. Eighth is Gant. Ninth, Bodine. 10th is Rutland. But now, beginning to build up an advantage, it's Ricky Rudd, former Grand National Rookie of the Year back in '77. Here he is down the main straightaway another time, coming to full speed, being chased by Darrell Waltrip. Let's go quickly to Dave Despain at the STP Pit Communication Center.
The difference between those two cars is tires, and Darrell Waltrip been keeping that good combination that we talked about all day, used up all of his new tires. On the last pit stop, he had no tires to put on. Ricky Rudd, also out of new tires, used a pair of cold scuffs. Those are tires that had been run just a few miles and had taken off the car, allowed to cool. He put them back on. They're better than Waltrip's tires. Rudd has the combination.
We're down to it. Just 7 laps to go, 6 this time by. Ricky Rudd on his way to his third Grand National victory, but those little pebbles, those little rocks, those small things that can happen to a car can easily overcome a man here. And as we mentioned earlier, this race has been racked by controversy over the years. This is the one they talk about. 5 to go this time by. Can Rudd stay in front?
Well, anything can happen, and Darrell's not out of it. He's 5 car lengths back, but anything can happen. They have lap traffic they have to worry with, and so many things can happen.
Some lap car throwing some rocks out on the track. That is what caused the problem for Neil Bonnet when he looked like he was on his way. There you see the Bud Moore pits standing by. Car number 15 down out of turn number 4. What a great day for this Virginia driver, whether he wins it or not. They know he came here today to race, and he has put on some kind of a battle. And the laps continue to dwindle away in the waning moments. It's been a perfect day for racing at Richmond, Virginia, live on WTBS. Our next broadcast will be with you on a Saturday night from Nashville, Tennessee, when the Grand National goes there a bit later. They'll move these cars on to Rockingham. And then, of course, Atlanta and Bristol upcoming on the Grand National Tour. Leader getting caught up in some heavy traffic just in front of him. That gets a little nervous. I believe there are 2 to go this time. And you see the folks from Virginia waving their hats and cheering on. No matter if they came with red and white colors, green colors, whatever, they've all turned to blue and yellow here because he is a big local favorite. And he's about to do what Lenny Pond came so close to doing twice and couldn't quite do. Ricky Rudd is coming down into the main straightaway, and a white flag is coming out. There is 1 to go on the comeback story of the early 1984 season. the kid who nearly lost it all at Daytona Beach 2 weeks ago. They said he would hurt worse in this race than he would hurt at Daytona because you take such a beating and jouncing on this track. He's clearing away for the final time around. The checkers are about to fall, and it is an upset. Ricky Rudd has won the Richmond 400. The crowd is on their feet all around the racetrack, as thrilled as Rudd is to see a Virginia driver finally take one home at the Richmond Fairgrounds.
What a great run by Ricky Rudd. I just can't say enough. I'm as thrilled as it happened to me.
Here he is coming out of pit road, Buddy Baker. The Budmore team, a team you drove for a lot of years, put together a stout little machine today, and the Ford Thunderbird has carried Ricky Rudd to his third career win. We'll be getting a word with the winner momentarily. Benny Parsons will be there with him, a man who has also tasted victory on this track. All right, here he is coming down, and we're going to be joining the winner in just a moment. Pulling down, getting ready to come in for the victory celebration.
Would you say they could call him one tough customer?
Oh, I guess they sure could. Ricky Rudd, one of the toughest of all time. He rode a Bronco that he couldn't get loose of 2 weeks ago. And he comes back here today with a sensational victory, defeating Darrell Waltrip, who entirely dominated the event. He pulls into victory lane, and we'll be getting ready to go down there and meet this tremendous driver who has pulled off a great win. Terry Labonte is going to be credited with third today. It'll be Bill Elliott for fourth, and Neil Bonnet for fifth, and Dale Earnhardt with a real stout effort for sixth. Tim Richmond unofficially seventh. Terry Gant for eighth place. And they're all gathered around Ricky Rudd down there. Now Benny Parsons trying to make his way through. They said that they had to build a special seat, and he was not comfortable. I can see his wife, Linda, right there. She has to be thrilled for him. But Ricky Rudd has done it. He has come back from one of the worst crashes in Daytona history. You can see that his eyes are still totally bloodshot. Those black marks under it. Of course, right after the race, they had to tape his eyes open so he could practice at Daytona. But a confident guy is sitting there in victory lane. Let's go to Benny Parsons.
Our first look at the Ridge Runner circuit last year was Rockingham, where, like always,